The King's Highway through the Kavrosi Mountains. You have been traveling through Timony, back now into the mountains that house Dolmakyar, where our adventures began. And here in a small little hamlet clinging to the side of a cliff, your group, carting in a carriage the petrified body of Taliesin, Pridesire, being secreted back, has been given a plan of action. Thimble, when you arrive closer to Dolmakyar, is to alight, take off, and land, getting Bolaire, Lathalia's attention to find a secret way to get this body where it needs to go. The mountains around you, capped in ice and snow, look out from a cliffside tavern. This is a sort of lovely little shepherd's tavern selling hearty homebrewed ale. The edge of the tavern actually has those stilts that goes over the cliff's edge and stilts back down as it sort of hangs off precariously. This tavern is called the Caller's Perch. And you sit imbibing some refreshments as food and tack are acquired by your fellow adventurers for your mounts. Now that the long journey up the mountainside, now you have an even longer journey heading back down. You're probably now within striking distance, like end of tomorrow's journey will get you back to Dolmakyar. Seated at the table, Tyranny, Jasavi's knife, the beautiful knife that Kattigan took rudely and abruptly from you after you rudely and abruptly stole it.
I could not.
Everyone is rude and everyone is abrupt.
Shimmering, silvery, reflective blade, the steel, polished and well cared for. Even the parts of it that are scratched seem to be scratched, telling a story of the love that was used in its many years of faithful service. And the handle, dyed pink with crushed rose petals. Bone taken from the shrine of one of the hounds. You see there are still, polished and made into a working handle. There's been some care and love put into this blade by Kattigan. But even holding the bone in your hand, there's so many things at work here. Rose petals and the sweet smell of flowers. The nourishment of a gift given to a faithful hound, loyalty and love, looped back over and over and honed like a smith working at a blade. You look into the sheen of the knife and you see a beautiful woman. She's tall and fair, and you see her in something like a... Give me a perception check, actually, as you peer at the blade.
4. Well, yeah. -1.
Holding the blade, you get a 3, and the image fades abruptly.
Oh,
as
she's hot.
She's really hot. She turns with a kind of relaxed, a blissful exhaustion that marks her as apparent. You see that she looks out in the last moment as the vision kind of fades from you. You see her turn around, and for a second, as you sort of lose the vision in this moment, you hear her go, "Esme, did you?" And the voice is gone. Kattigan, you hear nothing of the sort, but just see Tyranny, I think, staring into the steel of this knife across from you.
Not bad, right?
I mean, I didn't know you had such an eye for design. I'm like 3 Yargos shots deep right now, and I don't know, my eyes are, I think, playing tricks on me. When did you find time to do this?
Oh, a lot of you tend to go to bed a bit earlier than I do. And you're right, I do have an eye for design. I saw you, pink, handle, pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pink, and I'm pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it.
This isn't a romantic thing, right?
What? No.
Okay.
It's not a romantic.
You know, it's funny that you really feel like I could have used this knife, and it's really beautiful, and I love it. It's the only time anybody's ever given me anything, really. And when I look at it, I'm like, wow, you're such a bad person. But I love me.
Oh, you.
When I see it, because it reminds me of the bad stuff that I did. But I love it, and so it's like, wow, this is such a beautiful gift from a friend. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, wow, you don't deserve anything. I don't know. I feel...
Are you asking me for some sort of advice, or...
No, you already listened. I feel like the knife is a symbol of, like, just remember to not steal so much and hurt people's feelings on purpose. But I don't know, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful item that you made. And it's crazy that every time I look at it, it hurts my feelings about myself. But please don't regret. I love it. It's a great gift.
Obviously, that wasn't my intention.
No.
But you're, how do I say this? You're allowed to feel how you want to feel about it, I guess.
I am?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, I made it, but it's for you. It means whatever it needs to mean to you. But, for what it's worth, I haven't known you very long, but I haven't seen you do anything terrible, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, a little nasty, a little weird from time to time. The eating and sniffing and finger eating and all the dirty stuff is not quite for me, but I get it. It's your whole deal. You can be whatever you want to be. I don't care.
I will decide to have complicated feelings towards this knife because it reminds me of my friend Kattigan, and it also reminds me that I have a responsibility to not hurt people who are nice to me.
Kattigan, what are you thinking in this moment?
Women are tough.
Tyranny, you hear Kattigan say, "Women are tough," as loud and clear as a bell.
Yeah.
What?
I'm so tough.
Oh, was that out loud?
I'm a woman.
Yeah?
I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm
You're
tough.
a woman.
And I'm
You're
tough.
tough.
Thank you so much.
Good. Are you tough, though? Oh, fuck.
Where's Wick?
I don't know. Where is Wick?
Go ahead and give me a perception check, if you'd be so kind, Kattigan.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
you and me are equally in our cups, apparently. Perception, a 9.
A 9. You look around. Much like they did way back in Tyrese Lee, they he and Taylor are off trying to acquire some amenities somewhere, and I think Tyranny, sort of looking around and being adrift here, give me a perception check if you'd like, but you can also give me an insight check at the same time.
Both great.
Both great.
11.
11 perception, and then give me an insight check.
2.
2.
On the Yargos.
yeah, I guess so.
On that insight check, Kattigan, as you look for Wick, what are you thinking?
He's with Tayor?
He's with Tayor, yeah.
I probably haven't thought about Wick in a hot minute if he's with Tayor. Like, I think that's like putting a child with your most trusted caretaker.
Yeah.
So as you make the perception check, what are you actually kind of like looking for?
I mean, obviously immediate vicinity first of all.
Yeah.
Like definitely not with us, but we have the previous knowledge that he's out and about in town.
Out and about in town. You look out, this is on the King's Highway, but you're into the little hamlet off the road a bit. So all you're seeing are common shepherds and like herders in here and things like that.
Yeah, he's all right. He's with Tail. He'll be fine. They'll be back when they're back. What is it about being without him that makes you so nervous?
I feel like he's gonna make things so much worse for himself. I mean, I trust Taylor. I think he's gonna be fine, but like, he needs me. He needs me. I invented this new drink, by the way. You take a shot of Yargaz and you drop the whole glass in an ale, and then you have to drink it before the ale curdles. Do you want to try it?
You definitely invented this. Yeah, no one's ever done this before.
I mean, I've invented it for myself.
Point blank.
On that 11 perception, as another shot goes down the hatch, Tyranny, you look down at the knife and see within it Tayor's reflection right behind Kattigan. And you see Tayor and Kattigan, but in this reflection, Kattigan is like much younger, and you see Tayor picking up Kattigan in his arms, injured. And there's a moment of something they share, badly injured, but like a laugh or a joke, something along those lines. And it's, again, you're looking at it like as you're holding the knife in your hand, like, you know, when you can catch like a little bit of sunlight and kind of direct it with a knife, but it's so hard to have the dexterity to catch it perfectly, to send it where you want to send it. That moment of Tayor holding Kattigan, as clear as day, like your own reflection in the knife's blade, you lose it again.
I gotta be subtle about this. Okay. Kattigan.
Yeah.
Do you and Taylor boyfriends?
What?
I don't know. I just had this thought about you guys holding each other. I don't think about you holding each other, but I think about, do you guys have some kind of history?
Well, yeah, we're are you asking if we're lovers? Or we've been lovers in the past?
No, I don't think I am, but were you?
I don't believe you. Well, what else does boyfriends mean to you?
I don't know, boyfriends, girlfriends. You guys just friends that are boys and girls. You could just be anything. I guess you tell me what you guys were to each other. How you guys clearly, like, there's something, because Wick and I came in and there was already a dynamic at play, and I'm just trying to get, if we're gonna be working together, I'm trying to get a sense of what it is.
We are battle buddies.
Is that what you call it?
Come on. Oh, you do stuff on everyone.
Give me a perception check with advantage.
Battle buddies. 6.
With
Oh, wait,
advantage.
advantage. Perception. 1! So it was actually a 4, not a 6, because it was a -1.
Gosh.
So listen.
You are drunk as can be. So all you see is you look and the blade is starting to sort of honestly fuck up a little bit. It's like, you're getting weird scrambles of like things Kattigan is not saying out loud. You're really altered. You look in the blade and you see Kattigan and Tayor embracing each other very sensually. You don't think this is you think you're kind of inventing this in your mind's eye. You're watching TV, but you do see.
Sorry, I gotta watch my show.
You do see that Tayor said, look in this vision, this you're having in the night, looks and goes, Kattigan, and you see that Kattigan looks and goes, Mariana.
Do you see it? Hey, look at this. You remember the knife that you got me? Do you see any? Did you see anything in here? Is there anything that's happening?
Yeah. I'll got a little bit of glue when I put the tang. It's full
No, you
tang.
don't. You're not like
So when you put
seeing
it-
visions in the knife. You're not seeing a beautiful stage play of
I'm not quite that fucked up yet.
Marion?
Oh, I said Mariana.
Mariana? Mariana? Does that name mean anything to you?
What did you say?
Well, before I say why I know that name, you tell me, because I think that you're not seeing what I'm seeing from this knife.
Where did you hear that name?
Just now. Is it okay? I hope that you believe me. This is a crazy thing to say, but you gave me this knife, and I can like see stuff in it. I saw what I think is the woman who was married to the guy that I stole this from. Sorry to him. And then I saw him looking for the knife, and then I saw you and Taylor hugging, and then I heard the name Mariana.
Kattigan goes to grab the knife, but he doesn't take it.
You good? Yeah.
Man.
Is this thing on?
Kattigan.
Do I see anything in this knife?
Kattigan, you do see something in the knife.
I do. Okay.
Give me a perception check. And we're gonna roll with, we're gonna roll here, and I want you to roll 2 dice, but we're gonna take the one farthest from 10, so it will either be very good or very bad.
Okay. The furthest from 10, 7 and 12.
7 will be the furthest from 10. You look at the knife, and you do see something. A very haggard, drunken man staring back at you.
Do I recognize this man?
It's you.
You? Oh, Brennan.
And you see a little bitch.
Oh, fuck. That's really savage. You got me. Oh, fuck.
You stare into the knife. Whatever magic is of tyranny does not avail itself to you. Whatever speaks to her does not speak to you. And the things which used to speak to you are gone.
It's just a knife.
If I hurt you in some way by saying that, I'm trying really hard to not to. Sometimes things are just happening with me.
I'm just trying to understand for a minute. I'm just trying to understand. You said you saw a woman in the knife.
Well, yeah, I saw a woman but
Yeah, well, what does she look like?
she's tall, beautiful, and I think that she seemed a little tired. I think she was a mom. I think it might have been the mom. Was that Mariana? Or, because Tara was the one saying Mariana.
Could you just, not say that name for a moment?
Sure, I'll say,
No, you don't have to make up a name. Did she have freckles?
yeah. So many.
And Kattigan just starts to sort of devolve in and shut down, for lack of a better word. I don't know what to do with this information. And
Tyranny, you're always upsetting people!
Thankfully, you have gotten yourself to a level of inebriation where escape is closer by mouth than by foot. And Tyranny, as you look at Kattigan, who you, daughter of the Prince of Suffering, cannot seem but help to hurt those close to you. The last thing we see here in this moment is you feel a sudden nuzzle of a wolf by your side as Wulfric noses at the knife. And that's all for this moment, as we'll continue this adventure on another episode of Critical Role.
Finally, I learned something about your ass. Finally. Yeah!
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Critical Role Announcement Playhouse. Okay, we did it. Before we get back to our mom, we do have some announcements to get through, beginning with our sponsor for the evening, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. A thrilling story-driven, that's the word, thrilling story-driven action RPG, said by Steve Brule, apparently. And here to talk about it, please welcome a real person?
That's me, Aerial Person. Like everyone else in this room, I'm a human.
Mr. Person, are you okay? You sound kind of stiff.
Yeah, bro. We humans get tired when it's been more than 4 hours since our nap.
Actually, humans are awake about 16 to 17 hours a day.
What? That's literally insane. Oh, I mean, yeah, bro, I know, I'm a human.
And you, a human being, of course, are here to talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance 2?
Yeah, bro. Kingdom Come 2 is an exciting RPG set in the rich open world of 15th century medieval Europe. You'll embark on the ultimate medieval adventure through the eyes of young Henry of Skalitz with betrayal and discovery, journeying from a humble blacksmith's forge to the court of kings. The deep gameplay means it's a game that you can experience your way, letting players experiment, learn, make decisions that shape countless quests.
She's allergic too.
I'll be a little honest here. You don't really act like a like a gamer.
Like all humans, I have a weird obsession with video games, and I want my fellow Homo sapiens to play this one a lot.
Oh, boy.
They should play it so much that they leave me, their pets alone.
No. What do you mean?
Well, as a human, I'm always trying to pet my cat or cuddle him or interact with my cat. But what most idiotic humans don't realize is cats don't want you to interact. Cats hate you with every whisker on their perfect faces, which stay clean because their saliva is actually cleaner than your filthy human hands.
So if humans play this video game...
They'll be ensconced in hundreds of hours of gameplay within a massive open world of... so cats can finally get the peace and quiet they yearn for. I assume, as a human.
Okay, enough of this. Ashley, hit him with the laser.
What? What are you doing? This dancing light is
get
not the least bit interesting to me. I'm a human. I think I can get it. I think I can get it.
You got it.
I think I can get it. I'm getting it.
Good boy.
I knew it! It is you, cat!
Fine. You got me. I'm a cat. A cat who wants every human to experience the ultimate medieval adventure of #Kingdom Come Deliverance. An epic story-driven human RPG. Check it out at kingdomcomerpg.com. Now leave me alone so I can lick my butthole in peace. Matt, cat to you.
Thank you, cat. Laura, I believe you have some non-butthole looking based announcements.
You want to see my cat?
It has nothing to do with buttholes, I promise.
It's a cat butt.
Oh, God. Ashley.
We're very excited to announce our collaboration with Steady Hands.
Steady Hands!
Steady Hands is known for their wearable fandom designs. I'm a huge fan of their stuff already, and so I'm so excited we've partnered with them to create a very special Mighty Nine tribute collection. Each item in the collection references a different party member. Including subtle pieces like the Frumpkin and Flame patterned Caleb one, or a much more direct reference like the Kattigan version of Molly's coat. Look at this.
There's so
many.
soft.
There's so many, and Jester gets two because
so purry.
she's special. The collection is now available at steady-hands.com.
Boom.
Very cozy.
They're so comfy. They're so comfy.
Super
Is
comfy.
that a
And that
cat?
is really, really
Don't get territorial. Don't get territorial.
All right.
so soft.
We also just announced Darrington Press's new game, A Familiar Find. It will be available April 7th on the Darrington Press website and Critical Role shops and at Darrington Press Guild stores. Guys, this is really fucking cute. A Familiar Find is a lighthearted card game where you play as an animal companion, racing across all corners of Exandria to gather magical ingredients. But you're not alone. There are rival familiars lurking nearby, attempting to set traps and sabotage your plans at every turn. And packed inside this travel-sized game box are poker-sized cards for easy gameplay on the go, 13 location cards with various effects on the game, and 10 familiar character boards, each with their own unique abilities, including one from the first 3 campaigns of Critical Role, Trinket, Mister, and Pate. A Familiar Find was designed by Ian Zhang and with art by John Ramsey and Svetlana Kucheravenko. Woo! And if you grab your copy from your local Darrington Press Guild store, you'll have a chance to receive unique location promo cards with your purchase. For more info, head over to darringtonpress.com/afamiliarfind.
It's really cute and fun.
Yay!
Like a half-hour play.
Ashley, you got something to talk about too.
Hello! All right, so CRF's 10-year anniversary auction was bonkers and more than any of us could have imagined. So thank you so much for all your support, and we hope that all who won are enjoying your Critical Role relics and treasures. With that said, it is a new year, and we are hitting the ground running. So this month, the Critical Role Foundation is highlighting one of our long-term charity partners, First Nations Development Institute.
Yay!
So this means that all donations and CRF merch purchases made in the month of February will be set aside for this organization. With a mission to uplift economies and lifeways of Native communities, the money raised goes to programs that focus on agriculture and food system investments, stewardship of Native lands, and advocacy for Native economic justice. And you have until February 28th. Woo! So if you are able to donate or would like to learn more about the First Nations Development Institute, or if you just want to learn more about CRF in general, head on over to critroll.com/foundation.
Yay!
Thank you so much, Ashley.
I forgot to show this one off too.
Yes.
This is a Yasha hoodie.
Show the back.
Mouse back.
And then we got skeleton wing and a furry wing. Or feather wing, not furry. Whatever.
That's fine, we got there.
We know. Okay.
Travis, you're up, buddy.
Oh, yes. We have something very exciting to show you. It is something some friends of ours have been working really hard on, and now it is finally here. So please, take a look.
Oh.
Draw Your Weapons, the tabletop role-playing show where the players literally draw their weapons, among other things.
The players will all be recording the moments of the game sessions through hand-drawn depictions of the action and role play.
Let's meet the team that will be making up our adventuring party.
Rashawn Nadine Scott, Sean Glaze, Heather Mahler, Jason Charles Miller,
And the game master of Draw Your Weapons,
Josh Knapp.
Without a word, just scowls and slaps you across the face.
I slap her across the face.
And our special guest this episode is...
What do you think he has in store for our party, Blaine? We're about to find out.
Natural 20!
Holy shit!
Critical hit. Let's go.
I can't wait to see who spills first blood!
Amazing! It's so good! Oh, can't wait for you guys to check it out. Draw Your Weapons is a new actual play with our friends at Titmouse, and it is coming to Beacon. Episodes premiere at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time starting February 25th, only on Beacon. Don't miss it.
Woo! Woohoo! All right. And with that, I think it's time for us to jump back into Ahriman.
Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role. Last we left off, our adventurers had made their way to Castle Torch, borne aloft over the skies of Helva by the eagle Altradler, in a sky carriage taken From the Druids of the Schongarten, your allies in that Elder of the Circle of Seasons, Amida, as well as the Druids of the Circle of Stone, the Circle of the Hunt, accompanied through a massive fight across the sky between spirits of the dead and the weather itself, lightning called down by Hannon, elven druid, in the form of a mighty hawk. Flying through the night, you arrived outside of Castle Torch in Gerwin, the far east of Helvar, quite close to the beginning of the Barrow Dell, a land cursed by the destruction of a god. In Castle Torch, you discovered many former paramours of one Julien Davinos. You discover
business companions.
These are my. If I hear you call me a business companion one more time,
But if you do it in the accent, I'm kind of fine with it.
And you spoke to Captain Luca Phaedron, who discovered there in the room with you at the top of this palisade castle. You discovered that the Barrow Guard, including young Alogar, had been sent out with Head Ranger Bierza Kagrakovalek into the Eternal Night, given a missive by Petra and Raya to Konis that was told to Dame Gaia Saramai was a missive from the Revolutionary Council. So a little bit of confusion and muddling between the authority of the Sundered Houses and that of the Barrow Guard and its proper authority in the Revolutionary Council atop the Grey Tower in Dol Makyar. Dame Gaia seemed dishonored and ashamed, did not tell her commanding officer where the command had actually come from, and was relieved of her position and placed under the command of Octus Tuconis. You also parted ways here with the Lady Aranessa Royce, who bid you all a fond farewell as she headed north with the half-orc knight Sir Tonveld Kösingblad, who journeyed north with her to find what fate had befallen the Golden Orchard, the seat of House Royce. We also had, I think, a lovely point of connection in the night between Vaelus and Octus, flying aloft over the skies, and beautiful parting words between Aranessa and Thaisha, her sister still, who knows that you now go seek her nephew, your son, Alogar Fang, out there somewhere in the wastes.
What?
Trainee.
Who also an accomplished drinker, which you also didn't like hearing about.
Yeah, that's right.
Mother should be proud of their great deeds.
Your horses spur now forward from Castle Torch towards the Shadowlight Waypoint, an area that is held by the Circle of Ancients, by Thaisha's Order of Druids. We return now to Helvar in the world of Ahriman as your horses speed in the direction of a cursed land in which you must not travel, yet will. As you approach the Shadowlight Waypoint on horseback, you see that thin band of nighttime sky that hugs the horizon. It stays thin for quite a while until suddenly you can feel sort of the road bending. There's a moment where you enter into a sunset. Sunset comes sort of fast. Rather than the sun moving suddenly into the western sky, you actually see that the sun begins to sort of fade or peel north. It moves as you're traveling. Each step of the horse, the sun almost in that way where at the very end of the day, the sun seems to move so rapidly that you can almost watch it moving with the naked eye, where there's enough humidity that like looking directly at the sun no longer hurts your eyes. Traveling on horseback, the sun moves almost as swift as if you were tracing your finger in the movement of an arm towards the north, and you hear the busy noise of a campsite up ahead. The sun moves almost to the part of the horizon it would be if you were in the far Arctic or subarctic reaches of a planet. That, in other words, it hugs a hemisphere as though the equator has moved farther away from where you are. You look out, see torchlight, hear sort of loud, gregarious voices work. There are some wagons being packed. You look and see a druidic encampment. This place is filled with canvas tents, but also you see that there are less supplies than you would imagine for an encampment of some 200 strong. There is a massive banquet table piled high with kahati, fruit, and produce. There's just open food resting out in the center of the campsite. There are a large number of wild animals here, some that can be considered perhaps wild-shaped druids, others seem to be companions, and you see a number of orcish paladins. You would recognize these, Thaisha, and probably Julien as well from serving in combat, as members of the Order of Roses. You see that towards the front of the camp, directing one of the wagons, is a tall, broad-shouldered, handsome, orcish paladin. He has a few sort of levels of scruff or facial hair, like a very thick mustache, little bit of a goatee that's grown in, and then like a 5 o'clock shadow where he would normally shave, shaggy black hair, pointed green ears. He is wearing a set of full plate mail that is constructed partially of Dolmakyar steel, but also partially of wood. You see that the plates that are set into it cover sort of the central areas of the wood, but around the edge of the plates, you see that there is painted wood where they're set in. So it's sort of this armor, it looks incredibly light on his body as he's wearing it. And where the wood touches his skin, you see that moss grows into his body, and there are small snow white blossoms that run throughout the joints. That he looks like he is truly wearing a shirt and breeches of moss under the armor, with a.
Does anyone else want flower pants? I'm gonna figure.
I want flower
pants.
You also see that he has his halberd as a thick wooden haft that you can see is green with life, living wood that grows into the head of a halberd. Only the very outer cutting edge and the top spikes are made of steel. The rest of the weapon seems to be made of living wood. And behind you see he's got a big flower tucked behind his ear, as many of the paladins here seem to be decorated or adorned with flowers. And you see that unlike one that is being kept or suddenly wilting, the flower actually extends past his ear, twined through his hair, with roots growing into the moss that is set into the breastplate of his wooden and steel armor. You look over as you approach. You see he's directing some of his order towards a set of wagons. You see there are these enormous ridge-horned water buffalo that are pulling these large sort of caravan carriages. He turns around to see your approach, and you recognize this as Sir Obza's Claw. He turns around to behold you approaching, looks over and says, "Sir Davinos, do we have some word from Castle Torch?"
Sir Claw, we have some word. There is many strange things shifting in the wind as of these recent days, but we would ask for the time being for at least a moment's respite as me and my companions here
are to continue heading east into Shadow.
You see that as you approach, he looks and beholds Thaisha. Thaisha, you clearly have met Obzaz before. Do you think how well would you know someone like running the Shadowlight Waypoint?
I honestly think that she probably has a pretty casual relationship, so it's almost familial, but for the sake of whatever good vibes I have with Sir Julien right now, you can see like she's like holding back the urge to like little cousin. A full paladin hard at work, and she's just like, don't auntie, not right now. Hi.
You see that he holds a fist to his chest and says, "My lady Thaisha."
And I send a little message. How are you? How's your mom?
She's doing okay. She's better now.
Great.
You see that he turns.
You need to shave.
What's that?
You need to shave.
Why?
Have you touched your face lately?
Well,
your rose is about to get shredded by whatever this is.
He looks at it and says, welcome. He looks and says, welcome to the Shadowlight Waypoint. I am Sir Obzaz Claw. This is, you've come at a time we're probably about another day or two away from heading out to Venatus. Didn't you just come back?
Just got back. I will let Sir Julien explain.
Well, as much as is needed at the moment, my first question is, have you heard anything from Kagra Kovalek and their troop that I believe was sent out towards Venatus not too long ago?
Yes, they came through, about 180 strong, heading towards Tanasar.
Has there been any sight or word from them since?
You see, he says, shrugs and says, it was supposed to be a short-range mission, but we've had no word back.
Very well. We are to...
Something that large, they weren't going to move fast. I assumed that there was a large number of them, far more than a scouting party.
Indeed. The pretense of their travels might have been dishonest, and so we are to seek on behalf of Castle Torch, the Druidic Orders, and other perspectives to see that they are hopefully safe and returned for both political and personal reasons.
Yes.
So, for that, we graciously would ask for a bit of rest within your encampment, perhaps any supplies we may additionally require for this venture, and any suggestions or recommendations for what to look out for beyond the casual training's understanding of the path to Venatus.
He looks at you and says, perhaps it would be best for you to speak with Masha. He sort of walks into the camp and says, by all means, supplies are yours if you wish for them. We're guarding this. We're quite busy. I don't know that we can spare any manpower to come assist you. We are accompanying a caravan of the Candescent Creed to Venatus. There is a shipment of filament moving to a number of gardens kept
I
there.
think we need more individuals. Speed is of the essence, and I think we travel fair speed, swiftly as we are.
You walk over. Anyone that wants to, if anyone's making any checks as you survey the camp, see what's going on, go ahead and give me perception or insight.
21 for perception.
You see that Masha, who you know well, elder orcish woman, she is a member of the Circle of Ancients, is speaking to Hannon over in the corner.
Okay.
7. You don't see shit. You also look over and see that there is a young halfling woman with spectacles who is wearing a kind of scholar's gown, a buttoned up sort of vest with puffy shoulders, who is surveying a number of artifacts that look like they were getting loaded onto a wagon of the Order of Roses. You can look at her and you see her looking around and saying, This all needs to be packaged more carefully. The translation of the term indicates that to the degree that the stars are present in the sky, starlight can sometimes also mean the ability to reflect starlight in the translation. You see that someone goes over, Obzaz sort of rests a chin on his hand and looks over. New prophecy. So,
from who?
Well, this, you see, it says, Doctor, would you like to come meet a member of the Circle of Ancients? You see that this young halfling woman comes over and goes, oh, pleasure to meet you. I am Dr. Amory Talter of the Totality. It's a pleasure.
Hi, Thaisha Lloy.
Hello. Thank you so much, and thank you for your orders, aid, and help. This is. Are you the additional support that we requested?
I'm not.
Oh,
but I was just curious about new prophecy.
Yes. Well, hardly new, ancient actually, but new in that it is untested.
Deep
and
breath.
it may prove to be the winning. She opens her book, she says, it was discovered in an expedition from the Totality to Ferret, actually in an area that had been largely reclaimed by the Barodel there, but we had to venture in and found the text. The translation, obviously it's an ancient text, but the language has changed somewhat, but we believe the translation is, when the sword of sparrows is raised by the son of mercy, then shall the reign of the bloody king be ended and the sun return. Obzaz looks at you and says, the sun will return. Thank you, Dr. Talter. I'm taking them to speak to Masha, but appreciate your...
Yeah.
And he walks off with you and just looks and says, it's a 600-year-old prophecy.
Great. Look, it's not like any of my people, our people, have figured out a better way to run at this, so good luck.
The Totality is helping. So,
yeah,
we'll try it. He just looks over at you and speaks a little bit of broken druidic, where he just goes like, this is the 8th prophecy they've brought from this expedition. At least this one mentions the sun.
Definitely laugh. And then try to shrug it off. We're gonna have to find something new. I just don't know how to explain to an order that is trying so desperately to remember its roots before the Shapers. I don't think the past is gonna save us. He just pick a little bit of moss and make the flowers like perk up a little more.
He smiles. Thank you. And turns and says, travelers, what hospitality might I offer to either of you here at our waypoint? This is a place of expedition and peril, but what generosity we have, we are more than glad to offer.
Oh, I don't need anything.
I appreciate that. I'm fine. Thank you.
Additional torches, please. We need light at all possibilities.
He knows what we need.
He says, all right, torches. He says, where are you heading? You're heading into the night, just the 4 of you.
Yes.
And you see he looks over at Gaia behind you, the knight of Saramai who's traveling. He says,
well, 5.
5. She has not spoken. She just stays at the ready. He says, all right, torches, provisions, everything we can. Are you headed into Venatus? Or if you wait another day or two, you can travel with us.
No, we need to follow the 180 as soon as possible.
They, to my knowledge, were not headed to Venatus.
Yeah. We're going where they went.
That is dangerous.
We live in dangerous times.
torches. Yeah. Torches. He looks at you, Thaisha, and just sort of goes, with 3 humans in your company, torches will be necessary for the more dangerous parts of your journey. To the degree, especially when you are under the open sky, that you are able to travel by starlight, I recommend that you do that.
Do you have lantern and lantern oil?
Yes. He says, write me your list of the supplies that you wish for, Sir Julien, and we'll see you outfitted. He just looks at you again in Druidic, just goes like, bad time for lit torches. And brings you to an older orcish woman. You see that Masha sits on a stump, sort of smiling and nodding at Hannon, who is speaking to her here in this place. See, Masha's got this crown of beautiful, like flower braided hair that's like some braids in an otherwise overwhelming mass of beautiful curly hair that comes down. She has some crow's feet around her eyes, but also many signs of youth, as druids sometimes do, of just living in peace with the natural world. She sits there, big green flowing gown, and you see that she has you think of it as like some sort of like druidic focus for a second because of how she's holding it, which is a turtle shell, until the shell opens up and an actual box turtle looks out for a moment and then closes again. And she looks up and goes, I understand. It is well said. She turns out and says, Thaisha!
Masha!
Good to see you again.
I rush up to embrace her, but also, can I make an insight check just to see if Masha's
lying?
I don't trust that turtle. Fuck that nerd. I just want to check to see if Hannon went full snitch mode and Masha's eyes move naturally towards Octus.
Give me full snitch mode.
Same, 21. Or sorry, 19.
19. Her eyes dart to Octus.
Yeah. And I just give Hannon a dirty look while going up to hug her.
She gives you a big hug. It's good to see you. How fared it? You were hurrying back. Young man, we didn't get a chance to say much of a greeting the last time you came through here, but...
No, we didn't. Hello.
How are you feeling?
Fine. I'm okay.
I give you just the little look. That's the, like, eye contact with Hannon and then back.
It's new, but I'm all right.
You're venturing to Tanisar.
Yes. My son is there.
I did not have time to see the young lad, but I know that you were venturing after a treasure for his uncle, yes?
Yes. Oh, that was returned to Dolmakyar. The orders that sent him and the other near 200 that he was with were given under false pretenses. We need to go make sure that they're safe.
Very well. Obzaz, if you would help Sir Davinos gather his belongings. Thaisha, I'd love to speak with you on some matters that concern our order. She sort of stands.
I would like to introduce you to an associate of mine, Vaelus.
Hello. Pleased to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Vaelus. You have been to the Eternal Night before, or no?
Yes, I have. This is not my first time.
Well, we welcome you. And if there is any service I can provide for you in your time here, please do let me know.
Thank you. That is very appreciated.
She turns. You see, I think, Vaelus, Hannon's eyes don't leave you in this moment, but that
This guy's rancid.
Hannon's eyes don't leave you in this moment. I think you see that there is a. Give me an insight check, actually.
I'm just not even gonna think about it. I'm just gonna roll one. Okay, it's not bad.
There you go.
Love that.
That's all it takes, I guess. 18.
18.
Just roll higher.
You just roll.
Discovered the secret of D&D. Just don't give a shit.
You just pick
You can't
one
let
and
the
roll
dice
it.
know you want it real bad.
Yeah. I don't care.
I don't even care.
Roll whatever you want.
Whatever you
A
want.
little bit.
They like that.
Shit and rolling.
I think you see that Masha, the older druid of Thaisha's order, is offering a lot of kindness and generosity in this moment. I don't know how much interaction you've had with druids of her order, if at all, but I think that there's a kindness that people extend when they anticipate that they maybe won't receive it in return. And I think you sense some of that. It's not a coldness, it's just a... Druids of her path don't have... Nothing that you believe impacts them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just about the fact that she is wondering if you feel the same way, right?
Yeah, I think I haven't spent much personal time with druids of this herb.
The path meant nothing.
I mean, listen.
But I think I'm definitely putting off the same sort of vibes that probably she is. But I'm also, it's the fact that she is being nice and trying, it registers and it means something. It surprises me a little bit.
She stands up to go speak with Thaisha. Obsess looks at you, Julien, and says, let's get you outfitted.
Very well. I made a list.
And leaving Hannon here with Octus and Vaelus, as he stands up, you see he's got this, like, violent shock of red hair out from under that, like, beaked helm, and his skin moves from, like, a light blue around the center of his features, and everywhere it gets close to, like, a hairline, it goes darker blue into, like, violet as it approaches the red hair. He just looks and glowers here for a moment.
I'll just glower back.
How are you looking?
Me?
Yeah, just is Octus comfortable, uncomfortable?
He's probably standing here watching you go, the two of you go, and being here with Vale is probably a little uncomfortable, but is just kind of starting to accept that that's where he lives now, as far as being this thing. So he's just kind of like, just shifting back and forth between the two of you, watching you glower at each other.
I think I look back one more time, and I'm gonna summon Hala and leave Hala by your side. Can't give you like a little like in case of emergency whistle, so have an entire deer.
So how long have you and Thaisha known each other?
You see he looks and says, by reputation, I had heard of the young druid of the Lloy family, yes. I met her there, in the Sean Garden, the same night I met you.
Oh, you didn't know each other
No.
previously.
What are you walking in this world seeking?
I don't think I know you well enough to tell you that.
You wear a veil of mourning, funeral garb. Strange to see one of the sisters of the Shaper doing anything other than weeping for a world good and truly gone.
We do a lot more than just weeping. And I think you know that.
Your coming to this place is a presage of ill omen.
Why?
Where you walk, a viper sits coiled to strike, to return us to a world of darkness. I need not know you to know what is in your heart. You have garbed yourself in it, in the things you hold to be true. You've let the world know that this, all of this, is a terrible mistake.
'Cause it is. It's a terrible mistake. And we can see it.
He looks at the strange and permanent night sitting like a thick fog, unmoving on the world in defiance of the celestial heights. You feel a coldness here in this place that can only get so much sun on the border of this place. You see the trees have changed to almost strange, unnatural colors. Things that should have bright green leaves instead have warped or twisted into having almost like a blood red underside to them, as eternal and profane night hangs here forever. The world is wounded. It is wounded because it was struck. It was struck because it dared to be free. You look at the injuries of those who were wronged and call it proof that those who harmed them were right. Disgusting.
That's not what I said.
It is it not?
No. I think it was a mistake. But I don't blame you for it. I don't think what happened to you should have happened to you, but a choice was made.
He stands. She has not moved from your side very often, has she?
Well, difficult when you're traveling with someone.
He turns and walks off into the dark.
Do you want an Eiffel Tower unit with me?
I need a few more drinks in me before we have that conversation. I don't know if we bonded that much.
Masha walks with you, Thaisha, and just says, you wish to walk into the eternal night, accompanied by a sister of Slandry and the young Taconis, who is being sought by his family.
Yes. Octus is a friend of mine and is willing to help me find and protect my child. And there is no safer place for him, I think, right now, than at my side. He is not only sought by his family. And there's just a little glance back in Vaelus' direction. I assume Hannon told you. I don't know what he is.
the Circle of Ancients cares most of all for the healing of this world. That is what we are here to do. That is why we are rallying our forces to march to Venatus once again, to hold aloft what we believe might be the Sword of Sparrows. But Thaisha, I will not meet this moment of fear with more fear. Whatever threat is posed by the dead walking Ahriman, the young man in your company does not seek to claw and fang at all living flesh. He does not march with the hateful spirit of a shade or wraith. But he is a dead thing. His time has come.
He is a dead thing. But if his time has come, why is he still here? Why is he himself still?
These are worthy questions. I will not stop a sister of my order from what she believes to be right, but I hope you have answers. Do you?
This has happened within the space of a week, after losing a man who is, for all intents and purposes, he was a brother to me. It would be irresponsible of me to not own that I made whatever choice I made in the place between places out of emotion. But if we trust anything, we have to trust our instincts. And it felt wrong.
What choice did you make in the place between places?
Masha, I saw a young boy torn apart. And I told him to get off of the path and go back. Somehow he managed to do so.
Had you shepherded him fully down the path, that his soul might come back to know new life in this world, is it possible that we might be safer from the machinations of the Tuconis than we are right now?
Whatever felt wrong in him continuing down the path was not just the loss of a friend or someone who is still so new to this world that his passing seemed an injustice. The manner of his death was strange. It was a part of a plot from his family. And I have to believe that some part of me that cried out to him to go back was to sabotage a plot that I still don't understand. I think the world is safer because he is here, and Primus Tuconis is farther from whatever goal he holds.
We do not know the goal that he holds. But in Tanissar, the dead have been walking more than usual. The Tuconis have been active there. You may be walking into a trap, but you may also be walking with one of the only ones who can provide answers if the Tuconis were busy with their magic doings there. Perhaps he will see what we cannot. I see wisdom in doing what you must do, especially while it is safe. With 180 barrow guard there, it will be held and be safe when you arrive in Tanasar. But Thaisha, the wheels have begun spinning in what you have done. Could you stand before our circle and say that it should be willed? That those called to the beyond, when the time was unjust, must all be reversed?
I would never say that.
But you said it for him.
There was something different about that moment. I cannot explain it. Death and life and rebirth, the cycle that we protect and uphold and shepherd. It is still sacrosanct to me, but this was something different. And if only because I know I have stepped to the very edge of our path. I still walk it. But this world is changing. And we keep looking back to the past for sparrow swords and nightingale stones to save us. New choices. Maybe new answers. I will stand in front of any and all who would ask my truth and my belief of me and defend what I did. But it does not change what I believe in my core. Walk the path.
You will not have to defend yourself, Thaisha. But you will have to explain. And if, in wise counsel, it comes to pass that your vision of the world cannot reckon with what we hold to be true, then you must do what is honorable and right. And if that means you leave us, then you must leave. I do not ask you to wish harm upon one you love. And I do not know the circumstances which prompted you to make your choice, nor will I say that had I been there, I would have had some character, some purpose to make a different choice. But what I know is that while you wear the garb of our order, you will be called sooner rather than later to explain to someone why it is right for them to accept what you would not.
I understand.
She gives you a big hug and an embrace and says, I wish you the best. Take care on the road.
Yes.
Julien, walking with Abza, as he, with a very logistical thing to do, he looks out and says, what do you require?
I think for the purposes of this, we need 4 oil canisters, approximately 50 feet of chain, if you can spare it, some grappling hooks, at least 3 lanterns, we'll say 6 torches, just to be ready. I know not what awaits us, but a place of shadow. It's good to have access to a bit of fire, yeah?
Certainly.
So it's like wrapping some of the chain around his arm so we can get the length, and his kind of eyes are just kind of staring off in the distance, kind of lost in thought.
He begins to prepare you guys, and you see he also gets some extra thick wool blankets on some of your horses and starts to add some stuff. He says, yes, I would gear up. It's freezing in the night.
Good to know.
And looking out, he just sort of says, if you don't mind my asking, it's quite a... Are you traveling under the authority of the Council or under the Circle of Ancients?
We're traveling under the authority of revenge. I just go back to continuing to wind my chain.
He sort of smiles and says, fearsome indeed.
They are a motley crew, but they are still useful.
He says, he also looks and says, I appreciate the use of the term sir when addressing me, but it's also not necessary. You're a knight, true, of House Davinos.
Of course, but what is it between knights if not pomp and circumstance? I keep moving oil canisters.
Virtue, dedication, honor, commitment, joy, faith, belief in some intrinsic soul, that every one of us that has a soul has a small drop of a larger ocean that we will one day have the honor of returning to the whole.
Good for you. Here's the thing. Virtues hold well until you lose what keeps you virtuous. Right now, you have no idea what I've lost. And to be perfectly honest, I still don't know all that I've lost. But I've lost a lot. So I have no interest in your virtue, in your roses. I appreciate the candor. And I appreciate the assistance. But I'm going to ride into the darkness. And that's that.
We lose everything at the end. We lose it all. It's an honor to have ever had. It's only ever a time. You see that he picks a flower off the sort of nape of his neck growing from the moss and hands it to you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I think he has the instinct, like as he kind of turns away to like that moment where his body almost goes through the motions of throwing it on the side when he's not watching, but he kind of like catches himself and just kind of tucks it into part of his armor. Continues packing.
You guys finish for that day. I think, Thaisha, you rejoin your companions here.
I think at this point, Hala's just constantly like headbutting and like nuzzling you. So.
What? What do you want?
She doesn't stop.
You guys get a small, a couple of tents and a small fire here. You can also rest. Tanasar is close enough, but you'll have to rest in the eternal night.
Okay.
At least once before making it there. But you guys have your gear and everything like that. Is there anything you guys do before the next day, before heading out?
So, we're going into the night after your son.
Yes. Thank you again for coming.
That's that wasn't what I was going for. I just.
I'm allowed to thank you.
Yeah. Have you, Julien? Have you been there before?
I've been on the outskirts as part of the training at Castle Torch, but my main purpose at this point is to oversee soldiers to keep the borders safe. I do not myself have extensive experience within the border directly.
Okay. You're gonna get it.
Yes, we all are.
You've been. And you have?
Yes, mostly before it was like this.
Oh, so you haven't been. You've just been in this part of the world.
I've been through it. But there's still lots I haven't seen. But I have seen it like this. It's not my favorite place I've ever been.
That's a fair assessment. The scars left by this shaper. It feels like a parting shot. One last little act of violence.
Feels like they all did that.
Does that feel fair to you? In your last moment, do you think you will curse this world?
Maybe. It doesn't feel fair.
As someone with experience, I wasn't really thinking about the world when it happened. A little more thinking about the immediate situation. But yeah. It's, when you die, not that I've unraveled everything yet, but you just kind of you have a snapshot of the last thing that happened. And then there was a confusing middle bit I haven't fully figured out yet. And I think it's only a middle bit because I woke up again. But the actual leaving of this world is abrupt and sudden, and you're gone.
Did you see anybody else when you were there? Were there others?
I don't know what was actually real in that other part, the place I was. Or what I was seeing was a construct of my mind dealing with the transference between life and death.
What's the difference?
Well, what's the difference between actually something that's tangible and real versus a hallucination?
I think people's thoughts are as real to them as the things that they touch and experience.
Were you scared?
Yes, I watched my brother open my whole chest open and take my heart out while 5 ghouls held me down.
Are you still scared?
Difficult feeling. Doesn't feel the same. No.
It's interesting. When I was younger than you, it was my first time seeing war. And in that time, I watched many soldiers, some as young as me, many decades my senior, carved and bleed in the battlefield. Years of training, honor, bravery. And almost consistently in those moments, you always see fear in their eyes before they go. I don't know if it was that way before the gods were dead. Because who knows what awaits on the other side if they aren't embraced by the great druidic path. But if you have come from death, you're not afraid anymore, then maybe you're ready to keep going this path here.
I will offer a caveat that it might be that I'm not scared anymore because I'm incapable of feeling the feeling.
That is also helpful. Hold on to that.
I don't know how things work anymore. Nothing works by instinct anymore. I have to consciously activate things. So I haven't figured everything out yet. We'll see. I have all the time in the world to experiment.
Me too.
I still don't understand how you were able to stop him from where he was going.
I don't think I stopped him.
I don't know if that was real or not.
Well, it's very strange that you and I would experience something close enough to the same thing and not call it real.
Well, no, I've just been was me seeing you while I was crossing over a hallucination, but now that I know that you were
also
dying at the same time, that makes it seem like there is a place where there is an actual path, which is a whole thing I knew as a concept, but actually seeing it,
It's quite funny.
A lot to think about.
Your family's dedicated to the passage.
Well, they were.
They still are. They just like controlling.
I think they just
where
like
the road leads.
The one end. Yeah, they don't really care about the journey anymore.
But to answer Vaelus, I don't think I did anything but speak to him and tell him to choose something else. The choice was yours.
A quick hypothesis. You reminded me that I had a choice in the matter and broke me out of the predetermined pathway that my spirit was taking to a place it was supposed to go or was being forced to go. And you allowed me a moment to consider other alternatives.
Choice is good.
Well, that's the whole point of my path. If we could force people down it, we wouldn't have a problem in Venatus and other places with the undead, people who have believed their entire lives that they are still owed an afterlife from shapers that no longer exist. And their souls, clinging to that belief even past the point of the existence of their minds, send themselves to where there is no door, and then they come back here, hungry and howling. There's always a choice.
So we're going somewhere nice.
So I've assumed, yes.
Yeah.
This talk of prophecy earlier today.
Right.
God, what is a sparrow sword? Well, I'm so tired of birds. Shit.
Seems like a bird metaphor going on in our lives.
Golly. As a druid, me saying I'm kind of tired of birds is crazy.
Yeah. Is the in that prophecy, is that the king they were talking about, the one the falling, the person falling, was that the...
I assume it's a shaper.
Yeah, I think it was it your shaper?
Probably, or tonsil.
Pay no mind to this bullshit.
It is...
You make 1,000 prophecies, a few of them are bound to be close to what happens, and they only remember the ones that are close.
I don't disagree with you.
The rest just become mythology.
But we do live in a world where, people can write things on paper and it's magic. So...
Anyone who wants to can give me an Arcana or a History check.
Woo! I got excited, but I'm not playing a wizard, so I don't know why I'm excited.
Oh my god, this is so much.
Oh, wait. My Arcana was great.
That's going to be...
Natural one? Got that out of the way?
Oh, no!
Natural one as well. I got a splinter in my finger.
Natural one.
Yeah.
24.
27.
Let's go!
27.
I forgot I minored in nerd.
Yeah. Octus, as you begin to dig into what this could potentially be on a 27 Arcana, by the way, what would that have been on a History check if you'd done it?
On a history check, it would have been a 20, what did I say, 27? It would have been a 25.
25, gotcha. how is Octus feeling about this prophecy that he heard right now?
On a certain level, the idea that a sword itself could dispel this darkness seems a little bit far-fetched, but then again, there is very powerful magic in the world, and if the sword may not be a sword, but a key to reintroducing or bringing the life back to the land, using a sword as a metaphor for, fighting back the darkness.
On a 27 Arcana, you think like, okay, like wait a minute, is there something here? Hearing 600 years ago, I think that it would depend, like you would need to see the text that the prophecy was written in to really understand it.
Yeah, it's just all hypothetical with what I overheard, but if the prophecy is speaking about the Shaper of the Orcs, that would not be referring to this specific place geographically. This was the Shaper of the Elves here, correct? As you are hearing about the Shaper, this was the old Oberdemian Empire. These were human lands. This was human lands. Okay, yeah, sorry.
And I think as you on the 27 Arcana, as you recognize that the doctor from the totality, the halfling doctor, had gotten it from Farad, which is the old gnomish homeland far to the northwest, and you suddenly think 600 years ago, and on a 27 Arcana, you go, what was going on 600 years ago? And you do remember reading an ancient history pre-Shaper's War of a King Kasarvis who had a 12-year reign as a gnomish monarch, in which his reign came to an end because he had used weather magic to make a long winter happen. There's like a 3-year winter that he made happen locally. You think this prophecy actually already resolved? You think that this?
Hold on, I think the lovely professor. I'm remembering something I read, and I think they're on the complete wrong track. I just realized that there's a thing that is already completely within history, completed itself, and this was a prophecy regarding that 600 years ago, and it doesn't matter anymore. Has nothing to do with the Shapers.
I'm not one to kill hope, but they are venturing into danger off of a expired prophecy?
Oh my god, do you want me to do something? Am I supposed to say something?
Yes, help.
Oh. All right. How am I supposed to explain that I noticed?
You go over, or rather, if you you go over and see the halfling doctor is over near the lead carriage. She's consulting some other books, looking around, and you see that she's reviewing this word mercy. You see that she's talking to what looks like a young sort of gnomish sailor who's looking at her, and he's got this ancient rusted sort of sword that you can see is partially like destroyed, and it's got this, it does have a pair of wings on the crossguard. This young gnomish sailor is looking at it going like, right, but if I were to actually take that, would I just display it? And she's like, well, then it is raised by the Son of Mercy, which means raised in combat. So Sir Abzaz is going to, at the dueling grounds at Venatus, or near to where the god of the sun, we believe, was slain.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Hi, hello.
Hello, I'm Dr. Talter.
Yes, Octus.
Octus. Oh, Octus. My Lord Taconis.
Yes, it's fine. Yes.
Are you accompanying us on the?
No, I just I overheard the prophecy you were speaking of, and I do have some knowledge in that regard. What was the name of the king you said?
Kasarvis.
I may be wrong, and this is just a hypothesis.
You get head-butted by the deer.
But could this prophecy be referring to King Kasarvis?
I just rolled a nat 20. She looks at you and goes, Kinks.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no!
Headbutt again.
You see, I was just thinking when I overheard, and then I realized I read something a long time ago, and I think that this prophecy is towards that, and it's already resolved itself because that all went away 600 years ago.
She goes, God, yes. The first in winter, the sun. It was the sun. The sun. Just they meant the sun. The sun has a connotation. The sun returns in spring. It never actually.
Because he made the winter last a long time.
You see, this gnomish sailor looks around and says, "Right, what's happening? Am I?"
I don't mean to throw a wrench into your whole plan, but I didn't want you to go out there and put yourselves in danger for absolutely no reason.
She looks over. She looks at the young gnome and says, "I'm a fraud," and then just and walks away. The gnome looks up. The gnome looks up at you, and you see he goes, "Is it? Are you like a wizard or something?"
Yes.
My mom's name isn't actually Mercy. Her name was Mercedes, and she just got called Mercy.
Okay.
So when they said I'm the son of Mercy.
Oh. No, it doesn't matter. It's nothing to do with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
This didn't feel right.
No, you seem like a very, you seem like a very nice man, and it has nothing to do with
Trying to help.
Yes, no, I appreciate that. I think it'll be okay.
All right. Do you know if are they going to take me back to Emery?
Oh, I have no idea.
Could you ask them?
Sure.
I am happy to help. They said that maybe I was going to help.
Great.
and bring the sun back. And I said, I don't think I'm going to bring the sun back.
Honestly, I don't think you are either, and I'm sorry. It's not. I'm besmirching you in any way. I will ask if you can get a ride home. What's your name?
Clive.
Clive Mercedes.
No.
What?
Clive Fisher. My mother's Mercedes.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry. Clive Fisher. I will ask around. I'm gonna try and follow the professor for a minute.
You follow the professor. You see that she is weeping in front of Masha right now, who's looking very concerned at her.
Sorry.
Masha looks up and says, my Lord Taconis,
I think
yes.
I caused this.
Young Lord Taconis brought up an excellent point, which is that actually from the time period that the prophecy was in, and given that the prophet, it's likely to my credit, it is a true prophecy.
Yes, it is.
It happened. It did work.
Just a long time ago.
And you see that Mosh looks and says, "Oh, well, we'll jot it down. That's fine. Great. Well, we're in a stage of just ruling them out, mostly at this point, so..."
I just thought it would be a waste of resources and people to possibly go somewhere dangerous where you didn't need to.
Masha looks out at you. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check here.
You have natural advantages against persuasion for druids.
You're good. Not this time. 12.
12. She looks at you and says, "Well, I think that we have saved ourselves a trip." You see, she looks at it and says, we still have to accompany the Creed's shipment of filament to Venatus, but Dr. Talter, you are free to go. And we thank the totality for its efforts in this regard, and should you procure any other prophecies at all, please let us know at once, or any other means of testing. We appreciate all of your help, Doctor. And you see that behind you, Clive sort of...
Also, there's a poor man named Clive who...
we were going to... Clive, we were always going to take you home. And you see, she turns and says, "Thank you for This is a kindness. Thank you, Dr. Talter. And you see that the doctor just nods silently and walks off and just starts very softly putting her tools and instruments away.
Doctor, please, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to step on your toes or academically do anything. I just...
No, it's all right. You're very kind.
This feels bad.
You ever... There's just so much chaos.
Yeah.
And... You ever find something and you think maybe this story is about... I just thought I was going to help.
I understand. I get that feeling. But
in stories, there's always only one clue.
Yeah. That's because it makes a good story.
Well, I hate them.
Yeah.
And I wish there was a story about whatever I've been doing.
You are very intelligent. Keep looking. Doesn't mean just because this one wasn't the one, there isn't a different one.
I can't go back, not like this. Oh.
I don't know, frame it different. Just think new information has presented itself and we have to go a different direction.
They're gonna laugh at me. They're gonna laugh at me. It's all right. It's all right.
It could be part of your comeback story. I don't know, I'm trying. You fail here and then you come back up and you do succeed at the end and it makes a better story.
Well, I will have to go back and explain that I did not connect the prophecy to the historical precedent of... Oh, God, they call him the Bloody King in that poem. Fuck.
Yeah, they do.
Oh. Thank you. It would have been... It is good not to waste the time of these noble knights and of the wise circle of ancients, and if you ever find a prophecy, come see me at the Totality. I'll be sure in the archives sorting texts, because they're never letting me come in one of these again. I appreciate you very much.
If I do find a prophecy, I'll make sure to request you specifically.
It's not even actually it's not even my real area of study, prophecy. It's an offshoot because of this find in the in Farid.
What do you really study?
Oh, well, the Totality, as you know, are those dedicated to reviving the magic and wonder of clerical studies with a direct connection to the domains of the divine over which the Shapers proved themselves as intermediary.
Right.
And our work there is tackling issues of faith academically, and that it is possible to have just as strong of a connection to the numinous and the divine and those domains of the celestial spheres through the lens of study as it is through faith.
Well,
does that feel moving to you?
Well, actually, from personal experience, it is, while different, I have walked a similar path.
I had heard a rumor in the Totality that a member of the Sundered Houses had sought study at...
the Pentaveret.
Yes! this is the Great College of Wizardry in Dolmakyar.
Yes.
Yes. Well, there's a lot perhaps to be shared between the totality and the Pentevral. Obviously, the Pentevral arcane in nature and us divine, but yet we are scholars all. And in terms of my clerical gifts, you see here she does a small sort of clasp her hands, and there's a small, very weak thunderclap distantly.
Oh wow.
There you have it. And then
Tip of the day.
Yeah. And then she
Gaston
have
it.
She turns to you and says, my area of study was on the actual biology. Biology is, of course, a terrible term. I actually think zoology is more correct than biology, but the study of celestials.
Ah, I see.
And their composition and their nature and why the Shapers saw fit to create essentially what are constructs from extraplanar material.
Is this like creating a being via this extraplanar material, but then infusing it with their own personal essence to make it sort of a sub-creature of themselves?
Well, historically, there is some evidence that the creation of these constructs was learned from the primordial partners of the Shapers.
Interesting.
The Shapers never produced mortal offspring. Although some say that it's actually possible that some of their celestials did, which is a scandalous thought. But however, the original spirits of service to the Great Shapers were actually the original Jinn and Ifrit of the primordials. So which we have some indication actually predates the earliest fossilized records, the remains of celestials, and those we've been able to find or potentially harvest. But it's a fascinating so there are a lot of secrets in how the original celestials were constructed by those by the Shapers, and a lot of indications that there may have been forces that the Shapers were relying on to be able to make those constructions, and there's a whole fascinating field of study.
Yes.
Which I will be returning to.
I would take it as a good sign that there is, you have found a way, even in what you just showed me, that there is a way for you to connect to these divine powers, even with the lack of the Shapers, even to some lesser degree. But there is a path there to be found, and there is evidence that it exists.
She nods in this moment and just looks and says, there is a path. There is. Do you venture yourself with the caravan to Venatus, or?
No, I'm traveling with a different party to somewhere else. We're just stopping by.
She nods.
I just happened to overhear everything and thought I would help.
Well, that's extraordinarily. That is extraordinarily kind. Your house enjoys a profound reputation as patrons of various areas of study, and I know that we've been very grateful for the help that House Taconis has provided. She looks and says, To be honest, it's a pleasure to meet you because House Taconis has in some ways been actually an area of interesting study of my own.
How so?
That Taconis comes from the same root word, or essentially that the name Taconis as bearers or guardians from one to the other, which almost every other shaper saw fit to bequeath that responsibility to a celestial. And Tansul alone wished that the psychopomps of his domain should be a living house of humans. And it is the only shaper to have bequeathed that responsibility to a house of his followers rather than to a celestial. So House Taconis, sometimes in my head, I think to myself, how interesting, an anomaly.
It is interesting. It was a great honor bestowed upon my family.
Thank you for the kindness. I can't imagine that was easy to say. And if you ever... What use could I be? Thank you very much for your kindness. And
you have left quite an impression. And I will remember you, should I need any help in areas of study that I do not know.
You see that she reaches into a little satchel, and she takes a little piece of parchment and writes her name, Amri Talter, and writes an address located at the Totality in Hargood.
Do you like me?
Do you like me? Yes, no.
Thank you very much.
She smiles and says thank you, and gathers her belongings and heads out.
You can come back to everybody. That was terrible.
I leave the vision of my dear. Wow.
So you got her fired?
Kinda, yeah.
Great job.
Yeah.
What? Don't encourage that.
No, I mean, like, they were banking everything on this thing they had figured out, and I just walked in and went, what if I knock down your whole thing?
I mean, what does she want to do? She could still go on the trip if she wants.
She didn't make me feel bad about it. I just feel bad that, like, this was their first time out from, like, their thing to, like, prove themselves, and I just came by with...
She can go and be like, we tried, it didn't work.
They were just gonna get this guy to, like, hold a sword up.
You can send a sword boy home.
Yeah, he's getting sent home. They're giving him a ride.
You probably saved a lot of people's lives out there. You know?
Anyway.
They're still doing the full escort mission, though.
They are.
That's true.
Julien, you see the Creed wagons over there and recognize some of the locals.
Sorry, Creed wagon is very funny.
Creed wagons. Welcome to, hey, hop on the Creed wagon.
Me wagon.
Yeah. Can you take?
Can't afford that.
I can't afford it. 3 seconds is fair use. You look over and see a local, the Lux of Garwin, helping sort of load the wagons up and getting them ready to head out towards Venatus here. There's like a little bit of tension in the camp between the Candescent Creed being present here at this Circle of Ancients waypoint. Mm-hmm. And looking around, if there's nothing else, I think you guys will be able to head out.
Go ahead and grab the supplies that I've been kind of bundling and disseminating about. So you probably noticed since we've gotten here, pretty much since traveling from Castle Torch, Julian's been pretty terse and to himself. And as soon as everything's ready to go, just kind of meets up to everybody. Anything else you need, or shall we be on our way?
How did you go?
I don't know if I have extra rations that I'm not using anymore, so if anyone needs anything, they're still in my pack.
We'll keep that in mind.
Look, there's every possibility that we're gonna run into another member of my family or more than one.
I'm counting on it.
I know.
The sun returns.
Look, I understand. And I'm not saying you're wrong, Julien, in your actions. It is still a little weird for me. This is my family. And while I don't get along with them, and they obviously don't like me very much, I did grow up with them. It's weird.
This is a good question, actually. As we are about to, I was going to say losing daylight, but we'll be losing it entirely shortly. Before we step into the shadows of the Barodel, shoulder to shoulder, towards a possibility of death or a re-death, if that's a thing, I think it's good that we establish why we are doing what we are doing. Because we've been running from things for so long, we are now running towards something. And to be perfectly honest, I still don't know a lot about each of you. You more than most. I know why you're on this for the most part. And we have shared responsibility in your son.
Yes.
I have responsibility to Alogar as well as a number of other soldiers, of which I was their mentor at one point or another. And through this tangled web, they have been sent to their death for whatever purpose is, in some way, shape, or form, tangential to the fall of my own house.
Yeah.
Now you two. Let's start with you. Vaelus. Why are you coming with us? You have your stone. Yes?
Yes.
But you step into the darkness on the whim to save a bunch of non-believers in the old ways of the Shapers for what? What do you gain from this?
I don't believe it's a whim.
Then tell me, why do you follow? What do you want?
Fuck this.
Eh? I want to hear her say it.
She won't.
What do you want?
I want to know what he is.
Why?
Because I don't know what he is.
Why do you care?
There are many mysteries in this world.
There are many mysteries in this world, but if he could be brought back,
say it. You wear the mourning of a dead god. Just
if he could be brought back. Do you know what that means? I could bring back maybe my family, maybe I could bring back Salandri.
There it is.
What assurances do we have that if this House Taconis is responsible for this very thing, that you would not give all of this up for their secrets to bring back your god, and we are led to the slaughter?
Why would I do that?
Are we more important to you than your god? And if they can offer you that knowledge?
I wouldn't do that. And I know you don't know me, but I wouldn't do that.
Why would we believe you?
You can't. You don't know me.
Then
just as I don't know any of
something.
you.
You know what we believe. You are so stuck mourning your god and the life that you lost. What would you put on an altar of sacrifice to get back what you have lost? So many people have lost so many things.
Myself, for starters. I would put myself on the block before any of you.
Do I believe her?
Give me an insight check.
I cast guidance.
Ashley, give me a persuasion or deception. You don't have to say which one.
Okay. I gotta stand. I'm just not gonna look. I'm just gonna pick one. Okay, it's not terrible.
16.
18.
Fun.
No, sorry, 17.
You're closer.
Still got him though.
On a 17, I believe that, Vaelus, you have the ability to invite Julien to read whatever you would like on your face. What does he read in this moment?
I think from the only being able to see her eyes in this moment, ooh, I think you feel an immense amount of pain. And I think it's heavy, but from what you can gather and just feeling, she's being true. Yeah.
I think from being one hard wall of emotion facing another, seeing that bit of deep pain peek through kind of catches him off guard slightly, and even for a moment you see Julien kind of I am an instrument of war. I've been raised to be and honed to be. My effectiveness is only based on the information I have. That's how I make tactical choices. I ask these questions so that I have information.
I understand.
Not to judge you, but just to ensure that I can keep myself safe and those I trust around me. So I appreciate your honesty as much as we can get.
I don't know if I'm gonna offer any insights into that particular problem. Especially with Salandri. I brought a fox back to life. What am I gonna do, bring a god back?
Do you miss being alive?
Terribly.
What if your family could offer that to you?
I don't think they would.
Why wouldn't they? You seem very useful to them. They seem very focused on you.
I think they wanted me dead.
And it didn't work out. Perhaps they want to change the plan. I'm just offering possibilities here because that's what I do.
I understand, Julien. And I would have you remember, maybe once or twice, that I technically am a noble of a house, and you do speak to me with a lot of lack of respect.
I speak to the entirety of your house with a lack of respect.
I didn't kill your family, nor did I have a part in it.
Not
I died
knowingly.
along with them.
Not knowingly. And while you see, kind of catches himself a minute and readjusts. I still have a lot of processing to do myself.
I understand.
And I do know my tendency to lash out.
It is my firm belief that whatever my family was planning required my death, and specifically my heart, which they took. My death was prevented, but they still have the piece of me that they needed. I don't know what that means or what they were doing with it, but they wanted me dead. And while I technically am, I don't think they were counting on me still being awake. I don't think them bringing me back to life is part of the plan. Nor do I think I ever will.
And if their plan is foiled, they're probably making a new one.
Probably.
And we don't know what that is.
We don't.
So I do not fully know if any of us can truly trust each other. And as long as we understand that, then at least we are level and we are open. We have all the information and we can make the right tactical choices accordingly.
Yeah, I agree. I will ask that, just to be upfront, that if I speak to a member of my family when we encounter them, it is not that I am trying to stop you, but I will be trying to get information, and I will be trying to see where every other possible member of my family is aligned in this situation. So it does not mean I'm trying to betray you by any means.
Of course.
We lack information.
Just putting it out there.
I understand. But there is a line.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
Just don't cross it.
I'm sure I'll find it. I don't know if I can ever help you, but
Could or would.
I don't know. It is a completely ridiculous prospect. The idea of bringing not only someone fully back to life, but someone who wasn't even a person.
Could or would.
I don't know. Could. It was never something I thought about until you brought it up. Primarily, if I ever even got close to anything like that, the priority would be bringing myself back to life.
Of course.
But we'll see what happens. The study is going to continue because it brings me closer to understanding what I am. If you want to help me until then, I'm not going to stop you. And I'm not doing this to try and disobey you.
I've given you no orders.
But you have been looking. And you've known what I do for a long time.
What do you do?
I've had pins since you've known me. And you know what it is.
Yes.
And just because I came back to life and defied the laws of your order, and because I was a little uppity with your other druids, you've been giving me looks.
You spoke to Julien a minute ago about respect owed.
I'm not disrespecting you by any means. I'm just saying...
You described your own behavior as uppity. Am I not allowed to be defensive of my people?
They were going to kill me.
Your father wants to destroy our order. Destroy the path entirely. I would not have let them kill you.
Yes, I believe you when you say that. I don't know if you could stop them.
Okay.
I trust you entirely. But you are a singular person who can only do what a singular person can do in a situation. And if 3 powerful druids want to kill me, they'll probably just end up killing both of us.
I think you confuse my order with your houses. We're not as impetuous as you tend to be.
Yeah.
But I understand your concern.
We'll see.
Oh, this is good. A few more cards on the table. I feel a little more confident going into the end of times with you.
I'll put one more on the table. I was listening through Hala. Your new friend, the good doctor, who studies celestial anatomy. What's the Stone of Night Song made of? It's not stone.
It isn't.
Do I know?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
We did learn this.
Mozor said it's not stone, it's bone.
That's right. That's right.
The bone of a celestial.
Yep.
That's right. Do I know that? Does
Yes.
Vaelus know this?
Vaelus
yes.
knows that.
Yes, I know exactly what it is. And I've always known. I forget it.
Right. No, that did not slip my mind when I was speaking to them. And there may come a time where we do ask them for help in that area. But I didn't think offering up that information immediately upon to someone who does not know the situation was a good idea. I also still don't know exactly how I react to either its closer proximity or further proximity from my body.
We may all die trying to save my son. She may die heading back to the totality.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get a lot of second chances. Travel is not easy.
No, but if we die saving your son, why do we care what happens?
The world remembers.
Sure.
Just a thought.
I have her contact information and her location.
Okay.
Should I think that's a good idea?
It's not only your decision to
No,
make, but I
know,
understand.
I understand. It's just a little bit of a sensitive subject.
At this point, as you're having this last little bit, Julien jumps onto his horse and like, so, into the eternal night or what?
We should go, yes.
How long do I think the escort mission to Venatus is going to take? If I had to, like, just spitball.
How long it will take for them to reach Venatus? Going slow in a caravan, like, probably 3 or 4 days.
I don't like the odds on having to track her down later. One thing. I'm going to go find the doctor.
Hell yeah. You get on your horse. You see Dame Saramai gets up on her horse as well. She looks to you, Octus, and gives you a look of deep concern.
Do you have something to say?
Under her breath, so that Vaelus and Julien cannot hear as Thaisha goes to get the doctor, she looks and says, "My Lord Taconis, you have been killed by your family."
Yeah.
You are surrounded by the knight of an enemy house, the servant of dead gods, and one who walks a path that would see you destroyed in your current state.
Correct.
This mission, such as it is doomed, my lord.
True.
She stands up, or sits up straighter on her horse and looks ahead.
I appreciate your directness and your candor. I have no interest in God. Look, I know you didn't do what you did on purpose. It's an unfortunate situation that you've put yourself in, unbeknownst to yourself. But unfortunately, one of the people that you sent off is Lady Thaisha's son. And there is nothing in the world that will make her angrier than if you endanger one of her children.
Give me a persuasion check.
Let's go.
21.
It has occurred to me, my lord, given that you have been slaughtered by your family, that I should leave this place forthwith and betray you to your house at the nearest possible convenience.
Correct. Are you going to?
Whatever enchantment has been placed to bring together those you travel with, my lord, who seem moments away from tearing at each other's throats, rightfully so. The pillars of a shattered world who stand tall only in and of themselves and not in relation to each other, then let me add myself to the mix. My loyalty is as confounding as the devotion of your companions. The world is mad. Let us be madder still.
I will add to that I appreciate your loyalty. And know that I am already dead, and you cannot kill me. And therefore, if you try, you will be dead.
My lord.
Tight.
Thaisha.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You walk up to Dr. Tulter, who you can see has a bag packed, and there is a small donkey-led wagon. You see that she's sitting on the back of it with a suitcase, and next to her is this gnomish sailor who has an apple. Oh, my good God, the apple! My God, look at the sizes. The size of your head. And you see that she looks over and says, "Yes, Clive. The apples are large. It's an effect of the Barrowdell. The Orcish Barrowdell is a region of incredibly lush and vibrant life. The only positive Barrowdell. Some have posited. Oh, hello. And you see that as you approach.
Dr. Tulter, can I speak with you for a moment?
Yes, I'm very sorry. And you see she gets off with her suitcase, says, yes.
And I'm gonna go as much into my Circle of Ancients bag as possible. I think it's just druid craft that the ground becomes a little more verdant and the smell of grass and distant ocean is kind of carried on the breeze.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to flex a little bit.
Yeah.
I love stories. You were speaking with my companion earlier. All the best fairy tales begin. The best adventures begin with a wrong turn.
I acknowledge I have wasted the resources of your order. Okay. I'm in trouble. What's happening?
Not at all. I think it wasn't about a sparrow sword, but I think you were meant to be here. And I think it is a mistake for you to leave now. I think you just took a wrong turn, and now you are on the adventure.
What?
It is unfair of me to ask you to put yourself in danger, especially when your original reason for doing so is no longer valid. But you said it yourself. In stories, I only give one clue. I think you need to find the clue.
Find the clue. All right. This is very kind. And
you came all the way out here. You risked everything to try to bring the sun back. Thank you. It's okay if you want to go home.
Where else would I go? I failed. I have nothing else left to...
I think this is just the beginning. The group you were going to go with is still headed to Venatus. You are different than the soldiers and worshipful members of the Candescent Creed that are going there. You can see things that others wouldn't. You might catch the clue that others will miss.
On the road to Venatus? Should I ask Masha to come along regardless?
I think that's your call to make.
All right. I'll talk to her. It'll be another day or two before the caravan's ready to travel.
Whatever you decide, you're not a failure. Thank you for trying.
You see, as you turn to leave, she goes, I struggle with mysticism. I struggle with it.
Yeah.
We're looking for something for people to believe in that won't have to be cloaked in poetry, because the Shapers cloaked themselves in beautiful songs.
Yeah.
To the point that we couldn't see what they were doing to us. And so we are trying to bring the light of clarity and truth unshrouded by...
I don't believe in the thing past the gods, such that they were. I believe in people, and I believe in you.
All right.
No poetry.
I'll speak to Masha.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
And good luck. Good luck to wherever you're traveling.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you headed in the direction of Venatus or no?
Tenasar.
Place of wings.
Say more.
You see thunder rolls in the distance, and her eyes glow white. The place of wings. I think I found the clue.
Oh God.
And that's where we'll go to break.
That is fucking impressive. Ordentes Fortuna, you are! Are you glad to be finally out of that hellhole where we can finally enjoy some adventure? See a bit of the world! And simply have some fun.
Sure, and I'm personally responsible for your safety.
Females! Christ, Henry, don't be such a stick in the mud! Be gone!
What are we gonna do?
You can do as you like.
Country! You've been lying to me all this time, and you dragged me into it.
Let me introduce a young master of our craft and new owner of Kutenberg's old forge, Henry of Skalitz.
When the Black Death last swept the town, it also started slowly. I want to see a bit of the world. Learn things, have more adventures. I don't want to be stuck in some hole in the woods.
One day you'll realize that's exactly what you want.
What the fuck is that?
Take cover!
Look at them! They carried on plundering our lands, invading, killing, raping, spilling the blood of their fellow countrymen for a foreign usurper. Time has come to put a stop to them forever, to sweep them off our land, hunt that rabble back to Prague in the name of King Wenceslas! Do this! Kill them!
And now from the Viva La Dirt League team, who you know from their amazing series Daggerheart Azurim on Beacon, they have been working on a brand new deck builder where you play as rival NPCs inside a video game competing for adventurers, defeating monsters, and trying to complete quests. It's currently live on Kickstarter. Check out the trailer right now.
And then I use the Death Knight, buffed twice with the breastplate of Argon, and I take the skull of Raoul. Ha ha!
Oh, Bodger, I was going to take that card!
Oh, were you?
Okay, well, it's my turn now. So
I'm not so fast, Greg, because I also complete the quest, gain 10 XP, and win the game.
God damn it! Damn it! You want to play again?
Rival!
Welcome to the Kickstarter for our first official Epic NPC Man tabletop game, NPC Rivals. You play as your favorite NPCs battling it out in Honeywood.
The aim of the game is to build a better deck and complete quests quicker than your rival NPCs to win.
It's a fun, fast-paced deck building game that will have you turning your friends into rivals!
Alongside the game, the Kickstarter has a ton of VLDL and NPC Man goodies for you to snag.
Now, this wouldn't be a Kickstarter without a bunch of stretch goals to make the game even better. We've got a long list of stretch goals, like adding characters, adding cards, adding shiny foil, dice, possibly even a D&D themed expansion.
Alongside a whole heap of community fun, live stream, prizes, videos, and more.
We are so excited to show you what we've created. A tabletop experience that is oozing with Epic NPC Man flavor and lore.
So head over to Kickstarter and back now to secure your pledge.
Rivals! The tabletop role-playing show where the players literally draw their weapons, among other things.
Critical hit.
Holy shit!
Natural 20!
Hello, friends. Laura Bailey here with all our cool stuff available in the Critical Role shop. You know what we say, take a chance, roll the dice. Make a hell of a fashion statement with this baby right here. Oh, hey, this is my new Stormy Day outfit. Done.
It's small, practical, and perfect. Just like me.
Need more dice? These are nice.
Oh man, that looks f***ing cool.
Wait, I can just get this? Like, right now?
I think I'll get it. And you should too! You know, then we can be twinsies. It'll be so much fun. You know you want it. Go on and get it at the Critical Role shop. Nah.
Bidet! Matt here. Did you know all proceeds raised in the month of February for the Critical Role Foundation will be going to our friends at First Nations Development Institute this month? Oh, you didn't? Well, I'm so glad I got you. Every dollar donated to CRF and every piece of CRF merch purchased between February 1st and February 28th of 2026 will be going to the First Nations Development Institute, whose mission is to uplift and sustain the lifeways and economies of Native communities through advocacy, financial support, and knowledge sharing. Now, every little bit counts, so if you're able to donate or would like to learn more about the First Nations Development Institute, please head on over to critwell.com/foundation. Thank you very much.
I have to say something real quick.
Yeah.
Good day, good day.
A pop pop.
Yeah.
Welcome to Weird Kids.
Letters.
We come back from the break to this moment I'm describing right now.
Like the beginning of a wedding.
Marriage is what marriage is what brings us together.
Peter Cook.
Peter Cook. We return to the Shadowlight Waypoint, where a tiny halfling woman has just collapsed in Thaisha's arms. You see, she looks out and her eyes return to a normal shade.
Are you okay?
Tanazar?
Mm-hmm. Where'd you go just now?
I had a vision. A vision?
Okay.
Of the wings, the place of wings. Where you're going to Tanazar.
On purpose.
That means you know where Tanazar is.
Above game, is it not? No, that's a thing.
It's extremely known. A lot of people at the camp have been talking about it.
Yeah. Yes. Why? What do you think of when you think of that name?
You see, Obzaz is not far away from you in this moment and turns around just goes...
Oh, I immediately snap him over.
He comes over and says, Dr. Talter, some almost 200 soldiers that came in here a few days ago were headed to Tanazar. They were all, we were readying their packs to journey to Tanazar. And she goes, I'm not very good at this.
It's okay, Bree.
I thought I was focused on the stupid fucking sword. I was focused on the sword and on Clive. And you see that...
Clive, give me the apple.
You see he rolls it up a hand and elbow pops it over to you.
There you go.
You see,
which is full.
Pops and locks an apple.
Yeah, 100%.
Just
Harlem Globetrotters an apple into a doctor's mouth.
He says, I'm gonna have to explain. I've missed a couple weeks of work, and you see that Obsess looks over and says, she says, the Tanasar, I didn't hear that that's where they were going, or I would have remarked on it.
Okay.
She looks at you and says, Tanasar, well, she's like, it's not.
Lock in.
It's a place of deep interest to me. I should calm down. It's not a place that the entirety of the totality has been searching for with all of its might as the key to all of the world's problems. It is a very interesting place to me. Because, and just a moment, I had a vision of some kind. I saw the wings and a warrior, a Barrowguard warrior, defending against undead.
Okay. Not here.
You see, she says,
What did the guard look like?
The vision I had was the back of him, but he a tall orcish man.
Okay, keep going.
Javelins. He had some javelins.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
Don't lose the plot. Keep going.
The vision I had didn't have a lot more than that, but I'm grateful for the vision just because it didn't have more. That's fine. I received a vision from my divine cardinal direction, which is
up?
No, stop it. That's not up. There's nothing up. I am a cleric of truth and knowledge. Some of us want it to be knowledge. I like truth, but when your divine cardinal direction is not personified or granted a personal agency, there is no reason or cause for it to take decisive action, even as an object of dedication. So people get visions from gods because gods want to send them visions, and when the thing you revere isn't a person, why would it send you a message? But some of us think that sometimes it does, and I just got a vision.
Is this your first vision?
Yep.
You're doing great. You saw the back of an orc
guarding against undead in what looked like a sunken holy site. Tanasar is a place that I had studied because it is of extreme significance to someone in my line of study, because Tanasar was a rumored oracular location associated in some texts in which it's referenced by both the Halovar and the Taconis as being a site associated with their houses. I don't know if it's possible that, because the texts are across a couple different centuries, so it's possible that it changed hands, or it's possible that both houses had a role to play, as they were the two priestly houses of the Oberdimian Empire. But fundamentally, it was called the Place of Wings because it was a place to summon celestial aid, the Place of Wings, and it was a promise made to Tansul, to his followers. Now, what's fascinating is Tansul, the writings of the priests of the houses of Halovar and Taconis that received this missive from the Shaper of the Sun, indicated that there would never be a cause to require celestial aid without requesting the aid from your Shaper. In other words, why would you make a request to anything other than your Shaper and assume that celestial aid would be imparted from him? Some of the texts, in terms of summoning the aid, actually use a separate word, which is crafting aid, in which case Tanasar, as the Place of Wings, would have been a place where, for whatever reason, Tonsul would have gifted his followers the ability, should something happen, because there's actually, in one of the missives,
to make their own
celestial.
You're brilliant.
Really?
Yes, thank you.
I'll go to Venatus if you want, but
yeah.
Do you want me to come to...
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, you're ours now. Come here. Do you have your own horse? Do you want to be you're on my horse.
Lovely. And you see that she goes up on your horse and says, and what's your name?
Oh, we did do this.
We did.
Yeah.
Thaisha, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
No,
I was
you're
very
good.
focused on
You were very focused on a sword. Oh, do you have that sword?
No.
Clive, get the sword.
You see that Clive brings the sword over and says, I raise a lot.
Okay,
sorry. And you see that she takes this.
A great sword for most of
To you,
animals.
this sword is a letter opener. This is a very small. It looks kind of archaically small, even for halfling or gnomish hands.
Free knife.
And you see, she comes over and says, everything before Lord Taconis ruined this is gone from me. But, so I momentarily forgot your name and the names of your companions.
Oh, it's okay. We'll do that on the way.
Great.
Do you need to grab any of your other things?
I had already packed because I couldn't bear to be here. So everything is packed and I'm ready to go.
All right.
Clive, goodbye. And you see that she...
Me too.
What a weird week he's had.
Just on a ship being like, explain exactly what you think I can do for you. You see that Aabria walks up, Guy is on a horse. You guys just see this halfling woman walk up again, kind of like lovely little like white and blue scholar's gown and vest, spectacles, sort of a mousy face and some brown hair, looking out. Hello?
Coming with us. Why? Did you know Tanasar is a place where, back in the time of the Shapers, you could craft your own celestial?
Where you were promised to craft your own celestial. The secret was inscribed in words of the divine tongue. But the thing is that.
And you speak that tongue?
Well, no one can. Or I speak. We are working on unlocking a word in that language. You are aware of some of this. This is the work of the Pentaveril as well.
That's what the Pentaveril's doing.
These are words that if you can...
We were wondering...
Sorry?
We were wondering maybe why your family sent 180 soldiers to Tanasar.
Yes, we have been wondering.
To clear out the undead, to summon their own celestial.
Maybe? Yeah.
Hence, the good doctor.
Right.
It's very funny because, again, I struggle with mysticism. But isn't it so interesting that I'm here from a mistake, a wrong turn?
Stories are good.
Do you know how they would achieve such a thing?
No.
Got it.
But she looks over at Julien, and you see Guy looks over at you and says, "My lord, we should make our way. We can talk on while we ride."
I can sort of like slowly, up, looking down at the doctor. Draw my rapier and just hold it right under her chin.
She goes.
Do you fear us?
Yes.
We'll be all right.
Don't worry about that. You're good.
Vomits hard, just hard vomit.
Yeah.
Good. Let her get it out now.
You
know we're taking her, right? This is the least of our worries.
Yeah, fair. Stay by me.
Hurry up.
You guys ride off.
Donkey wagon, donkey wagon, donkey wagon.
Love a duty party.
Stop hauling ass.
As all of you make your way further, as you of all people,
from this side of the table now.
Betrayal. As you make your way from the Shadowlight Waypoint down the path, the road simply ends. You move through the field, and finally the sun vanishes into the northwestern sky. You ride and watch barren badlands suddenly just birth themselves from land that has not known the touch of the sun in 70 years. There are some ossified carcasses of trees that look almost like shattered finger bones of some ancient earth deity as the wind has ripped the branches from them over 70 years, dried and desiccated. You approach on horseback up a sort of wide open plain, following a road that is literally only made of footfalls, right? The sort of worn into the path ahead of you, going up towards where you have passed before, a place called the Titan's Bench, which is the saddle between two sort of massive peaks here as the night begins. Riding through this area, all of this is essentially the area that is the most policed by the Barrow Guard. You look out and see on some of those tree carcasses, there are like rations or water skins hung up in caches for traveling rangers. There are some like watchtowers built out in the kind of ruins of the night out here in this place. This area between the edge of the Eternal Night, that Shadowlight Waypoint, all the way to the Titan's Bench, is a wide strip of foothills that you can see are basically maintained by the Barrow Guard. You see there are some valleys that actually have palisades sort of across them. There are things here like sort of defenses built out into the edge of the wasteland here by the Barrow Guard. Approaching the Titan's Bench, you ride up for about maybe like 2 hours of riding, eventually getting up to that crest. And as you crest it, you look down and see falling away on the other side, down to the deeper lowlands of the ancient valleys of the Operdemian Empire. Vast as the horizon, rolling silver-white sand stretching into the level distance. As the mountains of Helvar fall down towards the ancient borders of old Operdemia, you behold the beginning of the Tyria Via, an elevated stone highway built into the might and mass of an ancient aqueduct. Columns some 150 feet tall raise this road like a skyscraper over the desert sands below, as the columns advance, winding into the desert far away. This elevated highway providing you a bird's eye view of the shifting sands beneath. The yawning faces of stone colossi partially buried in the sand, themselves that towered over this elevated highway, some of them 200 feet tall, these enormous constructions of the ancient sorceress empire of the house which commanded the loyalty of the Taconis and Halavar in ages past. You see, Dr. Talter looks and goes, "Oh."
You've never been here before?
No. This is exceptional. What was this ancient aqueduct is partially widened out. This highway is about sort of 60 feet wide, but built into this stone basin. So as you ride, you are literally riding your horses on like ancient masonry stone out and over, into the distance. There are large blocks of stone set on either edge to provide a sort of railing or guard, but those are only about 3.5 feet tall. These are sort of 3.5 foot slabs of stone. So riding on horses, you actually kind of have to fight a feeling of vertigo almost, raised this high up above the desert, heading towards.
How are the winds? Like, is it just up here? Like, are we just being...
Aabria, that's a great question. Would you be kind enough to roll a luck check?
Oh, no.
No.
You really don't want a 1, and you don't want a 6 or lower.
9?
9.
Ooh.
9.
I'm never going to ask a clarifying question again.
Absolutely not. We're going to ask all of them.
Yeah, we're gonna ask all of them.
On a 9, you look in the distance and see these skies are so clear here. The frigid air, it is as freezing as being like in the far north during like midwinter. It is far below freezing up here right now. But looking out into the distance, you see, though the stars are as crisp and clean as can be, due to the fact that basically all of the water has just frozen out of the air. You can see in the distance what look like clouds moving until you recognize that it is, maybe 100 miles away, but a sandstorm that itself dwarfs even these sunken colossi in terms of its size, that might well be over 1/4 mile tall, is whipping across the distant desert, burying more of these colossi in their hands. Anyone who wants to give me a perception check?
Nine.
21?
15.
15?
9.
21, the sandstorm's moving a different direction from you. You've traveled on the Tyria Via before. This aqueduct brought, essentially diverted a river from the eastern mountains of Helvar all the way to the core to irrigate the vast farms of the Oberdemian Empire. These people were so good at stealing that they stole a river. Some ancient sorcerer emperor was like, snapped his fingers at the Taconis and the Halavar and said, "Bring me a river." They did.
Y'all are the worst.
Los Angeles River.
You see on that 21, usually every 5 or so miles, there will be either a long, low incline ramp that will come down following the columns down to the ground level, or there will be an actual, even more frequently than that, many of the columns actually have ladders or staircases in them to help service them, to help someone come up and cast mending. Think of an empire full of first level sorcerers that can't fly but can take a ladder 180 feet up to cast mending on a bunch of big stone columns. So you see that you perceive those on the horizon there. I think, Octus, on a 15, you just look over and see the colossi in the sand. As you are riding down the Tyria Via, you see far distant, away from the Tyria Via, there start to be colossi, kind of small, they're way in the distance. But there are colossi that you can see are standing looking towards Helvar and the west with massive stone spears, and their faces are totally neutral. The colossi sunken in the sands around here seem to have expressions of horror or rage on their face, and their limbs are at odd angles as though they moved as they fell.
This is so fucking rad and like my favorite poem.
But my works, you mighty. You mighty despair. Fucking freak out.
We all know that poem.
I wonder what could have animated these. In the past. These Colossus.
Well, you were death, Halavar was light, was
Right.
another family construct.
I mean,
you all kind of picked a specialty.
True, but that... I don't know why. I don't know who that would be.
When you were a little lordling, didn't they make you like recite all the names?
Give me a history check if you like.
Ooh. 24.
The House of Aabria also held dominion over two houses equal in station to the Halavars and the Taconuses, which were the warrior houses of Menimnari and Callistra, all of whom fought to the very last. They did not wish to walk away from the Shaper's War. And you believe that, looking at some of the colossi, that it may have been that the House of Callistra knew to speak the words that would give life to these stone warriors.
Well, there were houses. Didn't make it out of the Shaper's War. Some of them didn't want to give up on the Shapers.
Well, you get what you get.
House Callistra was one of the ones that might have been able to do something like this. I don't know for sure. It's just kind of waste.
I mean, try something. Say the first word that comes to mind. See if we can wake one up. Do that one. He looks bad.
You, get up.
I figured you would try a magic word. Did they teach you nothing in school?
It's not really a school. It's like...
I'm going to call your professor. Murray.
You have to speak the statue's language. Turgid! Didn't work.
I don't speak stone.
You see that Dame Saramai looks at you and says, the warrior houses, they died in legend.
Yes.
In the history of the Shaper's War, they stood to the last. But I suppose it's interesting looking at it from this vantage point that our houses did not. I wonder. You see, just looks down at the colossi staring out of the sand. The priestly houses of Halavar and Taconis
changed their minds.
Dr. Talter says, "Well, it's funny to think that warriors might know more about faith than priests."
It is funny.
Not ha-ha funny necessarily. I don't know. Are we? What brings us here to Tanasar? What are you? We are finding your son.
How did you?
I would have caught everyone up on
okay.
vision. Sorry.
Do I know they had a vision?
Yeah, I fully came over. At some point when we were writing, I think I would have sidled up.
Yes, finding the target of vision.
Might not be my son, but probably is. The javelins.
Makes you feel any better. I also had a vision about the same person or same picture, image.
Oh, are you?
No.
Are you? You're not a person of faith?
Now, it has always been my understanding that, oh, this is going to sound terrible.
You have time to not say it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. A person of faith, I always assumed, lacked a certain degree of intelligence. And that just might be the way I was raised.
I, in my experience, have not found it to be the case that the presence or absence of faith is a predictor for the presence or absence of intellect.
Good.
I would agree.
Yes, I
wasn't
believe.
meant to insult anybody. I just.
Yes, I believe. I believe that. Well, I'll wait till we spend more time before I talk about what I believe. Together, we'll spend more time together, and then I'll talk about it.
That's fair.
Tanasar, it's it's just very extraordinary. Before I had meant to mention that this Tansul, in the writings exchanged between the Halavar, the Draconeses, and their vassals speaking of this place, it was a place that was promised. And in one of the texts, one of the high priests that had communed with Tansul directly, that it had been crafted such that Tansul's death could be avenged should he ever be slain by Azgra, his brother, which apparently for some period of time was a deep concern of the God of the Sun, and one of the few, Shaper of the Sun, one of the few Shapers to speak openly of a possible end, though he feared it more from his sibling than he did from the hands that held the staves of night.
Interesting.
But the point being,
He wasn't really wrong in the end, was he? The hands that Oscar shaped.
Oh, I suppose he was right. But yes, the greatest weapon that Osgra ever forged was the one that destroyed him. My point being that the power to summon or create a celestial was not given prematurely in the text that I have studied to the houses. That essentially it was in the event of Tansul's destruction that they would not be left unarmed.
Right. It was an insurance policy.
Yes, so to speak.
Right.
I would like to know. I want some more rolls like the one Aabria just did for weather.
Yeah.
I want some more rolls like that.
Let's die of exposure.
Ashley, would you roll a d20 for me?
No.
Damn. That was the realest shit. Okay, Vaelus.
Looking to avoid a 6 or lower, definitely don't want a 1.
Okay.
Get a 20.
Oh, 18.
Love that.
Great. Great.
As you guys travel, this section of the Tyria Via is well maintained. You find no structures within it or anything like that that would give you any pause, and arrive all the way, riding for a few more hours. You will probably have to stop before you get to Tanasar. The question is, you have more riding time available to you. Do you want to camp up on the Tyria Via and lose more time, or do you want to press on but have to camp out in the wilderness?
Both of those options.
It's bad in both directions.
It's bad, both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, wilderness for me. The wilderness is more interesting.
Why? Okay, what do you mean when you say interesting?
I'm fascinated by plants. You've traveled here quite often. What dangers do we think will beseech us on the road versus in the wilds?
If we want a guarantee of a good but much colder night's sleep, we stay up here, where it's safe. If we stay in the wilderness, then the things that crawl through the endless dark will have a chance to seek warmth. And you're very warm, Sir Julien.
Ooh.
Not emotionally, like your blood.
I got what you were laying down.
Yeah.
So...
Nothing wants my blood anymore, so I'm good with whatever.
You're fine. The road then, or...
I mean, I would be fine to press on, but I don't know what we should do.
All right. Should have determined which number.
I do that so much.
All right, flip a coin. Heads. Fuck.
Yeah.
What does heads mean?
Yeah,
All right.
should we flip?
All right.
Yeah.
High is press on, low is stay on here.
Okay.
18. Press on.
So we're pressing on. We feel good about this?
Of course, there is no time to waste. And you know what? Maybe in the wilderness we'll find a place to stay out of sight, to keep our warmth hidden, and at least prepare should something try and find its way to where we keep rest.
As also, I'm awake the whole time.
Same.
All right.
Up here, and I look off on the horizon of that distant dust storm. Who's to say they won't come our direction mid-sleep? And I would...
The dust storm? It's not going to. It's nice to know a druid. I pick up like a little bit of stone. This is a stone that will keep the dust storm away, as long as you keep it in your pocket and believe.
I could probably find
Do I believe her?
You put it in your pocket.
Go ahead, give me an insight check. DC
Deception!
5. Yeah, deception.
10.
10. What'd you get in your deception roll, Aabria?
I got 12 plus 3, 15.
I take the rock and look at my...
Your protection is appreciated.
And I put the rock in my pocket.
You've now got a little flower and a little rock in there.
Yeah. Druid's just handing you weird shit. Like,
It's possible I could figure out that rock's name. Interested.
I'm sorry, what?
I have a book.
What book?
Did I ever...
You very specifically didn't.
Wasn't specific. I didn't mean to keep... one of the things that your druid friends gave us, I have a book. Oh, God.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, let's pronounce this name. The Kibinim Kataz.
Huh.
It is, I pull it out of my bag. It's a book of, from what I can work out, the names of stones.
Yeah, that does seem like something... Okay. Have you found it enlightening?
I read a little bit of it. It seems that I could use it to, identify particularly interesting stones and their lineages.
What language is it in?
Stone?
It's in Druidic.
It's in Druidic, but I can comprehend the language if I concentrate.
No, you can keep it. Interesting.
It just one of the things.
We press on.
That was the only other thing that we were given besides the charms.
As we press on,
Yeah.
something I would like to do. I don't know if they're already in there, but I would love to prepare and put some of the embers of Arask
Yes.
Yes.
into my sensor
Hell yes.
for a little bit of light. And just have it in there for funsies.
You place them in. As they are now, before any word is spoken, they simply glow with a deep warmth, and your sensor fills your body with a feeling of resilience and comfort here in the freezing cold. As you ride down this way, I will need one last roll from Matt as you press further
Matt?
into the wilderness.
Roll like you're a DM.
Clutching that tiny rock of storm protection to my side. And that's a 10.
A 10, great.
The rock works.
You press on. You guys get down here. I think you guys are like basically having to put those blankets or other warm clothes over yourself, riding, shivering in the cold.
That's why you wear
Octus
layers.
is totally fine.
Yeah, totally fine.
Totally
Good.
fine. As you move through the space, you
crystals on my eye.
Oh my god! You're making it crunchy.
You come all the way down this sort of like a little bit too steep ramp that comes all the way down off the Tyria Via. Ride for a while. It's really slow going through the shifting sands, but eventually get to a little higher elevation where it moves from sand to a rockier area. And as you arrive at a series of gorges and other areas that would have been a little bit more like hilly or mountainous, you see even some worked stone, like places that were quarried here in ancient times. You arrive at an area that you can see the Barrow Guard has been to. You see the footprints through the sand of the shifting sand. Too much wind, their tracks would have immediately vanished. But here you see some signs the Barrow Guard were here, and also see them doing something that the Barrow Guard often does here in the Eternal Night, which is there is a sort of higher elevation lake up here that is sort of an ancient frozen lake, and there is a water quarry here. So there's like them hacking away at the ice to like fill up their canteens and refresh water and move on. So you see a partially mined lake up at this higher elevation. Moving further in, you eventually get to a point, time is not changing around you, so you're beginning to feel a bit dizzy trying to read the day based on your own level of exhaustion. Everybody go ahead and give me a wisdom. Actually, you two are exempt, but I need Thaisha and Julien to give me wisdom saving throws.
Oh, non-sleeping ass bitches. Bitches. Wisdom save, dirty 20.
Dirty 20, great.
Natural 1 for a 0.
Baby!
Good night.
He got that right here.
As you guys are riding and pressing further on, I'm going to roll some saves for our NPCs as well.
Save the donkey.
Vaelus, you're feeling normal. You know how to listen to your body, like when it is time to stop. Octus, you're in a different set of circumstances. Thaisha,
somehow the shadiest thing you've ever said.
I'm having my own problems.
Thaisha, even without the sun being present here, you just see where the stars are in the sky and know that this is when you would normally be bedding down. Like the time has come, essentially, that you should begin to like look for shelter. Julien, on that wisdom save of a 0, you look out at the horizon, and it's there. You've been traveling mostly by starlight. The sand is sort of bright enough, but now that you've gotten into these darker, stonier areas, it's just a little bit more shadowy here, and you can hear Dr. Talter say, "Shadows are possible to see. Can someone light a torch?" I will say, I want to get just Julian's reaction to that.
Okay. I'd say given the bleariness of the space, the readiness of preparation, the mind already preoccupied with 6 other things kind of hears that and just absentmindedly grabs a torch from his side pack and like goes to ignite it.
As you go to light it, you see Dr. Talter looks at you and says, "Is everything all right?"
You asked for a torch.
Dr. Talter looks at you. She did not ask for a torch.
Julien? Blow out.
Yes.
Get rid of that.
I snuff it with prestidigitation.
As you go to snuff it, I'm going to need everybody here to roll initiative.
We have fun. We could have slept on the cold highway.
That's my favorite place.
That's better than a 1.
Ooh!
6 or an 8.
I'm so on it today.
Ooh! It's sandy.
It's bad.
Sandy.
Sandy.
It's fine.
Sandy.
Pleasure being friends with you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That is a natural 20 initiative check.
Let's fucking go.
So 23, because it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It counts. It counts.
I'm gonna need you to look up the text of prestidigitation for me, if you'd be so kind.
No. Can I snuff a small flame? Do I not know how D&D works?
Bruh, I feel like prestidigitation, druidcraft, and...
Instantly light or snuff out a candle, torch, or small campfire.
Great.
Perfect. Look at these horses. They're beautiful.
Beautiful horsies. Everyone's got these lovely horses.
Why do I have to look that up?
We just check in.
How does your guys' marching order look to you? Who would be in front? Who's where?
You'd probably be closer to the front since you have the most experience in this space.
Yeah, and dark vision.
But it wouldn't be too far from you.
Same. I
Okay.
feel like it would be. Yeah, I feel like I like where I'm at.
Feels good. That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were in the middle, like you would also be throwing out a bit of heat with your
the
ember sensor.
embers.
Hell yes. What did we get for initiative? We got a nat 20 here.
Yeah, 23 total.
For 23 for Octus.
17 for Julien.
17 for Julien.
17 for Thaisha. You go
17 for
first.
Thaisha.
For it?
Oh my god, yeah.
Let's go.
What do we get for Vaelus?
Natural blood.
13.
13 for Vaelus.
Okay, so Julien, Thaisha.
Best places.
We're there, yeah, 100%. Good job. Way to wait till then. It like wanted to remind me. It's like, just don't forget. I love rolling one.
Sometimes don't like you.
Sometimes fuck you a little bit. Joke's on you. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I need more time.
Yes. 13 for Vaelus. That's great. Octus, you are going to be first to go, my friend.
All killing Julia.
So action prestidigitation snuffs the torch, correct?
Yes.
So the torch is lit. You snuff it. Julien, that is going to be you or Thaisha who would act first.
It'd be me acting before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you want to know if it was an action or a back at you.
Yeah. Between the two of you, who would act? I was going to ask first. Julien, what are you doing in this moment as the torch is suddenly snuffed out?
Immediately go to kind of like repocket, like, sorry, I was distracted. And then kind of looking at their reactions, just glance around to see if, as I realize what I was doing absentmindedly, to see if anything nearby is moving.
Looking around to see if you can see anything moving nearby. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
With the disadvantage because of the darkness, or
yes, disadvantage because of darkness.
All right. I rolled 2 17s in a row, so 18 total.
Hot. Let's go. What's disadvantage? He sees everything.
Disadvantage. You see everything.
Looking around, looking around on that, there is something under. This is a strange thing to say. You could swear that there was something under your horse.
I instinctually kind of like roll off my horse to the side and just get my blade ready at the side and kind of just glance underneath it.
Are you on the ground?
Yes. You see Julien gets off his horse.
Julien!
Over here.
I need something faster. What does your mom yell when she's mad at you? Mm-hmm. It takes too long to say Julien.
It's the full name, so it's much longer.
You look there on the ground, looking for what's there. On 18, there's nothing. You heard something's going on. Something's. You're ready for any danger, but something in your mind is betraying you right now.
Sorry, and I'll take the rest of my movement to get back up onto my horse and just kind of try and shake it out of my head.
Thaisha, do you do anything on the same initiative count?
Detect magic on Julien. I mean, in general, but it's just laser focused on him.
Detect magic. As you bring up the magic, you look. Julien is surrounded by death everywhere, all around him, pushing in from all sides. You remember the feeling in the Palazzo Davinos, the shades. As you go to get up on your horse, I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay. 13.
On a 13, you look and see behind you over here, looking under, everything's okay. Behind you, you hear Gaia go, of course, lights a torch. As Julien is suddenly wreathed in torchlight, stretching off into the sand, you see is his shadow that spreads on the sand behind him. As you go up onto your horse, there is a moment where your hand goes in front of you. Your hand goes in between the torch and your own throat, casting your shadow on yourself. You are dragged off your horse and dragged 20 feet into the nighttime desert, and you take 19 points of damage.
Oh my god!
We move further in initiative.
That is my full movement to leave Julien to die. What the fuck is that?
Julien, the experience you have is your arm goes tight with like rigor mortis, casting a shadow from Gaia's torch on your own throat, and you feel yourself being choked and crushed by your own shadow on your skin, dragging you off into the desert. Vaelus, that's going to be your turn.
Fuck. Okay. Okay,
Vaelus.
Okay.
Fix it.
Zermai's torchlight is still burning bright.
Yeah, she looks confused as she's looking at you disappearing. She's holding the torch.
Put it out!
That is going to be... Vaelus, that is your turn.
Okay.
Combat's going to be precipitation torches out this whole time.
The worst can be
I would,
whack-a-mole.
let's see here, 30 feet. Okay, so...
Everyone that has a torch, put it down.
Is Julien currently being dragged?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to... Do I see him?
So cool.
Or is he gone into darkness?
The torchlight, I believe, is 20 bright, 20 dim. 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20. So he might be getting towards the very edge of the radius of light here.
Okay,
So
I do have dark vision for 120 feet.
Yes, you see it has dragged him exactly to the edge of
Great.
the torch's radius.
Okay, so what I would like to do, if I can,
Yes.
for flavor,
Yes.
I would love to sort of try, I want to like get on top of my horse so my feet are on the top of my saddle.
Yeah.
And try to jump across to Julien's horse.
Yeah.
And try to get as close enough as I can within 10 feet so I can wrap my sensor around his ankle.
Hell yes.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Go for it. So you use your movement, rush over to Julien's horse, leap from one horseback to the other, and you can move this horse up to be within 10 feet of Julien to wrap around his ankle. As you do so, I'm going to need an attack roll.
Okay.
If Julien's not trying to stop this, you would roll with advantage.
Okay.
I'm not, as I'm
Okay.
trying to like...
Okay. Oh, that's pretty good. That's
pretty good.
Okay.
That's good,
That's super cocked.
Okay,
That's
we'll
worse.
go with the first one. Okay, that's worse. All right, so this would be an attack roll with the sensor whip.
Yes.
Okay, that is a 23.
23 hits Julien's armor class, I believe.
Yes.
And you whip the censer around his ankle in that
And I
moment.
don't have the embers. I didn't light it up yet.
You have not.
So I kind
It's
of
a
stayed in
bonus
the dark.
action to light them
yeah,
up.
that's still out, but they're in there. So yeah, I'm just trying to wrap it around. But I still am doing damage to him?
No, you don't have to. You can-
Okay, great. I don't want to do damage.
You just are on horseback, lasso his foot to prevent him from going
any further.
further into the desert. Yeah.
Great.
That is your action. Any other bonus action from you?
I would love to heal him, but I don't know if I know that if you took damage.
I mean, I got dragged a bit.
Got screamed. Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm like.
But I have to be able to touch you.
I have to be.
Yeah, that's my turn. That's my turn.
You see that Dr. Talter, she's gonna roll. All she can do is scream. She just starts screaming.
Just.
That's her turn. Octus, that is you.
Turning and seeing, what's her name, fucking light up a torch. I use my action again to snuff out her torch.
Do not do anything unless I specifically tell you to.
A tear forms in her eye. You did, my lord.
Something's going on here. Keep your eyes open. Unless you see my lips move, do not do anything.
She keeps her eyes focused on your lips. The torch is snuffed. As the torch snuffs, Julien, you feel the grip diminish.
There's something here that exists in shadow.
A bunch of shades. You're surrounded by them.
What? I look around.
Yeah, keep look. Your shadow just Nope.
Julien.
You rise up, and you see that Dame Saramai looks at you and says, "You didn't just say that. You didn't just say that."
Didn't say what?
What are you hearing?
Something is putting words in our minds.
Looking at her, do I see the same? Does she have a posse like?
With detect magic on, you do see that the spirits of the dead are congregating around her, nowhere near as full as around Julien.
I don't know what to do with that.
What do you see?
Some, but fewer.
Spirits?
So many. Can you tell them to stop?
Right?
Me?
No.
She's
around me?
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm checking.
Yes.
Any around them?
Detect magic on Octus gives you nothing. The Walker's Ward is working.
See it?
Fuck.
And
Liz?
detect magic on. I mean, I think you can see
open
some
up a
loose
mirror.
magic of him being like a wizard, but nothing that's sort of about him as a person. And then for Vaelus, nothing other than the magic objects that she carries. The Stone of Night Song is palpitating on her, but you sense that the dead are moving away from her, if anything.
Huh.
Okay, the two of you are surrounded by spirits.
Yeah.
Should we mount our beasts and just continue quickly?
Yes. Yes, are you good? You good to go?
I'm fine.
If you hear any orders, double check out loud before you act on them.
Already ahead of you, Thaisha.
I am going to lay on hands, help him back up on the horse. And
How much do you heal him for?
let me heal you for.
You took 19.
I will kill you.
I can heal you for 15 points. That's my max. That's all I
Are
got.
you sure you don't want to save that for later? Give me 5. Five will be plenty. Save the others. Look, it's a great helpful defibrillator if need be.
Yes, it's a great. It's a little something.
Yes.
I'll take it.
If
Are
you
you hurt?
hear
Do you need help, buddy?
You touch me, I cut off your head.
if you hear anyone tell you to light any light source, double check with them before you do.
I agree. If you hear something, say something.
If you see something, scream.
Yeah.
You stop screaming.
She's just back there screaming.
Yeah.
You see, as you are mounting up again, do you stay in the same sort of riding order?
I will look to Vaelus and be like,
Perhaps it's best that I stay close, maybe behind you.
I think the two of you in the center, I'll take the rear.
If you are driving a wedge,
yeah,
maybe best I stay in your wake.
And I can stay on the outside too. Yeah.
Riding out from here, Julien, that feeling of your arm going stiff and being dragged off into the night, wondering what might have been waiting for you out there. You hear behind you Dame Saramai going, "What are the voices speaking to you?"
All that I've heard so far is to undertake actions that have proven to be against our best interests. Why? And I look over my shoulder towards Saramai. What do they whisper to you?
As you look over your shoulder, you see her face look confused. As once again, she did not ask that question. You see that she just literally buries her face in her hand and says, "I'm not doing anything other than riding until we're there. I'm not going to listen to anyone. No instructions, nothing. I'm just going to ride."
That is safest. Look over towards Thaisha, like a twitch in my left eye. And just continue on.
The moment I hear you pick up speed, I'm tearing off.
You guys ride off as far and fast as you can. Are you going to make camp for the night in this area? You have pushed through deeper into the Barrow Dell.
I'm fine. Two of our friends are going crazy. They also tend to be the ones that respond to problems with violence. So I don't like where their heads are at right now.
Fair. Maybe we should camp?
We have to.
I mean, or, how about we have the two other NPCs?
Do we have time for a camp and an exorcism? What are we going to do about the shades surrounding them?
How far are we from the Build-A-Seraph workshop? God damn it. Fucker. If we push through, maybe we can...
Arrive there exhausted?
What if one of you rides with each of us and you can rest? You two, I don't know what to tell you, but I don't know.
We have to rest.
Yes.
We are walking into a fight against armies of undead.
Oh, it's the closest thing we have to a windshield. Glance out on the horizon to see if there's any sort of,
That place we fought.
I mean, anything similar to that where
Yeah.
there is an alcove or a piece of terrain that we could use to block most of the wind.
Give me a survival check.
Remember that any place that causes a shadow is dangerous.
17.
On a 17, looking out into the rocky areas throughout here, you see that there are a number of the beginnings of promontories, little canyons or gulches. The wind is often moving in a pretty stable or fixed direction out here, so finding just a big wall will do the trick. On a 17, you see a little bit more distant, there is actually a canyon that looks almost so geometrically perfect as to be partially artificial. And I think on a 17, looking out, you see that whatever this hilly, rocky area is, the terrain is starting to take the shape of an ancient city. Looking at that canyon, you realize that's petrified or sand-caked, ancient temple walls.
How far does that move?
Probably another hour of riding.
That looks like at least one of the safer bets we can look for.
Yeah.
Can you make it?
I can make it.
As I reach into my pouch and grab the little druid stone and kind of rub it with my thumb.
Okay, let's go.
You guys ride on. I would like a DC, a very low DC, but like a DC 8 Constitution save from everybody.
Fine.
Great.
Natural one.
Natural one.
Literally exactly 8.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, that's a 4.
Okay.
Actually, I'm
Thaisha, I think that as you are traveling through, the cold gets to you. It is not even painful. It just happens over the course of an hour of riding with you taking the lead. And specifically, like, I think Dr. Talter is with you and you're like covering her. You get the brunt of riding into the headwinds. And it's been a long day and you take 5 points of cold damage as you essentially just feel your body's internal vitality just withering under the onslaught of this freezing wind. The Eternal Night is one of the Barodels that is less... It is incredibly vulgar in terms of what it has wrought here magically on the world, but everyone has like walked in the night before. It doesn't seem that too terrible, but there's more at work here than just the night. There is a remnant of cold and malice here and a promise for no living thing to grow again. And I think you feel, as you often have in this space before, the spite resting in this place.
I think she just, you guys notice that she is just slowing down and isn't intending to do it.
Hey, you good?
Yeah, we're almost there.
We're almost there. It's okay, just hold on.
I'm gonna pull up pace next to her. Just making sure she's not gonna fall off the horse from exhaustion. Just, not so she notices.
Yeah.
Because she's in charge.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna be there, support just in case.
Vaelus, you ride up alongside Thaisha. You guys enter into this gully and look and see the perfectly right-angled canyon between these two massive, like, temple walls, huge flat stone on either side, worn smooth by the sand. Like, Dr. Talter rubs a finger over it, and the stone here, worn by the wind, is smoother than silk here in this place that seeks to rob all roughness or texture from anything, grinding the world down to sand in this place. You are protected at a certain point as you venture further in and find a small corner and itself almost like an alcove in the stone. The horses will have to just huddle up for warmth, but there's enough space in here for you humanoids to be able to like sleep in this small protected area. Do you guys rest here in this place?
Of course.
Thaisha's the first to dismount.
Go ahead and give me a survival. I want a DC 5 survival check from everybody. Incredibly low, but the stakes are high.
13.
22.
Survival. 13.
Sorry?
12. Great. All of you are able to take a long rest here. There's not a guarantee within the Eternal Night that you're able to actually find rest in sleep. So those of you that need sleep can go ahead and mark a long rest right now and re-prepare spells and do whatever else you need to do. Does anybody take first watch?
I'll take it.
Cool. Thaisha, you'll take first watch. As you take the first watch, you see Dr. Talter sleeping. Gaia sort of leans her head, sort of sitting up. You begin to, I think you both begin to trance, probably, using this opportunity to do so.
I'm gonna skip.
Skip, okay.
I'm gonna skip tonight.
Okay.
Yeah. Will I have any problems if I do that?
If you skip, you won't regain spell slots or lay on hands. So you won't, some of your abilities you will not regain if you do that.
Okay.
These stones, you said, are partially magical in nature as far as their construction.
Yeah.
Can I use the tome?
Yes, you can.
I'll expend the charge of legend lore
Mhm.
to learn about this place that we're in.
This structure, like this canyon
Yes,
that you are
yes.
moving through. Hell yes. Moving through this space, you read the names of stones. Looking deep within, you find these stones here, carved deep from the flat mesas of an ancient expanse, moved here magically. You look out and see a robed ancient sorcerer, a laurel of green leaves around his brow, a sorceress emperor, holding out a hand and watching as slabs of stone, some hundreds of feet long, float through the sky as though floats in a parade. You see, he looks out as people clap and applaud, and with this sustained magical effort, an act of telekinesis carrying some thousands of tons of stone across the horizon towards this end, you see them placed here. Consumed by the sand, this is the ancient homeland of the fallen, or what would be called the sundered and broken House of Callistra, the last members of which either have been in hiding for 70 years or indeed are all dead. Looking at this holy site here, you see the stones placed in a massive temple to Tansul that are, commemorating his beneficence, the glory of the sun in this place, looking towards the west where the sun ever sets. And you see, stone regards you, speaking this word of power, the arcane, a memory of the stone when young comes to you. You see a young priest of the house of Halavar looking out, a massive brazier filled with shimmering oil unlit, a wide golden pan suspended over an image of the god of the sun. The fire lights, and within it, the stone remembers the face of a living god. You speak to stone that saw the shaper of humankind, a category you no longer belong to, though you once held that title. Ever sets the sun into the west, land of shadow. The word shadow moves through, and the stone feels it and remembers it. My lord, this place you have given us, there can be no use for it. There can be no use. We will never be without you. Why would you give us tools to use in an age without you? I cannot understand it, Father, please. Tansul speaks. Does the sun not vanish with the coming of each and every night? Ages, like days, come and go in the long march of time. Know that a day may come where I am gone, but a day will come where I return. Stone calls back out. You see this final memory here. To make a servant in your image. What will we make it from? Nothing can be made without sacrifice. Nothing can be made that is of worth without my dearest materials. What would be a sacrifice worthy of this weapon? Sacrifice that thing which is most precious. And what could be more precious to me? Tansel extends a finger towards the heart of this priest. Then you. The light vanishes from this memory of the stone of the temple as you finish casting your spell, and the stone tells you its story.
Shit. Huh? Oh, sorry, I'm not used to you being up at this time anymore.
Yeah. I'm good. You
This
good?
is my nighttime time. Like,
Do I need to turn around?
no, it's fine. I just. Sorry. I was using the book.
Amazing.
It's the first time I've done it. I was. Honestly, I was. I don't mean this to be insulting. I was a little dismissive of a book that was like, we have the names of rocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many interesting druid things.
No, I just,
No, I feel you. Anything interesting?
I saw his face. I saw
The rock's face?
No, the human shaper's face.
Tonsil?
Yeah.
While reading the book?
Yeah, it showed me a vision.
That's a good book.
To be more accurate, the stone spoke to you and showed you what it had seen.
The stone spoke to me.
Weirder, but useful?
Way, way more useful than I thought this book was gonna be.
I'm just gonna pat the wall. Good stone.
But, I think it gave me a really big puzzle piece.
Do you want to share or do you want to sit on it?
No, I can share. It's,
That wasn't. I just.
No,
We've been a little edgy. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I'm just processing what I saw.
Yeah.
Tonsil gave human beings the ability, as we know, to create this thing upon their death.
Sure.
To create celestials. But that's not how he said it. There was different intonations in his voice. Wasn't like, I'm giving you a gift for when I die. It was, the sun always sets, and then it comes back.
Rises. Okay.
So he said he will go away and then return. But also, it requires sacrifice to create one of these things, and what is more precious to him than us?
In the general?
Human sacrifices. Specifically pointed at a heart.
Like the heart your brother took out of your body?
Very same.
So, your family killed you as the sacrifice needed
To make a celestial, possibly.
I'm so sorry.
Well, maybe that one will have sorcerer's ability.
Is it okay if I hug you? You can say no.
Yeah.
And she just gives you a big hug. I'm sorry.
Seems like the most likely explanation. I don't know if we'll find out, I think. But at least there was a reason to why I died.
You have your rest here. The Book of the Names of Stones has given you the ability to speak with a part of your world very old that has seen much. Questions of what the past has to offer, if anything. You take your rest here. Julien, on that successful Constitution save, the whispers eventually cease as you take your rest. The next day you emerge from the gully, riding forth. Hours upon hours through ancient, crumbling stones. Here the sands do not shift. Instead, they attack. Walking out from between corners, a sudden spray of wind will lacerate the face and eyes with sand moving across the wind. On top of you, it's almost hard to see the stars as the sand whips over the raised edges of the canyons. You now travel through these ancient stone structures until eventually it opens up once again. Before you, a massive excavation. A place that was sunken long before the Shaper's War. A place that had been buried in a time where gods still walked the world of Ahriman. Enormous obsidian obelisks. A temple made of volcanic glass. At the base of an ancient quarry unearthed by means both mundane and Taconis, to your sight sorceress as well. Looking down a switchback road that lowers some 100 feet into the earth, you ride down, and only at arriving at the bottom do you look out and see some structures not of stone or glass here. Under the stars and the shifting sands, there are banners fallen to the ground of the Barrow Guard. The grounds of the temple before its massive gate littered with bodies. You do not know what state they are in, but you see them collapse to the ground, the figures of fallen warriors here. What do you do as you approach?
It's not even a thought, just a natural reaction. My son is a Fang, but he is a Lloy too. And I put a little spike through his ear. I want to find him. I'm here to save him. I cast locate object on the spike of metal I gave him as a baby. I'm finding my fucking son.
You rush forward as fast as you can. It is possible that it is here, but it is not within 1,000 feet. His body is not one of the ones that lies on the temple grounds here. There are less than 24, but close to that number in this space. Anyone who wants to give me a perception check?
Yes.
Nice. 19.
19.
I rolled a 19 too.
Oh my God! But
12.
24.
24. Vaelus, on a 24, something is wrong with these bodies. You're looking at them. They look...
Thaisha.
I'm like pushing past them.
Don't touch them.
The closest one to you is about 30 feet away, and as you're looking at it, you haven't gotten close enough to actually get a good look at any of them, slumped over and prone. But you see one about 30 feet away. It's moving.
I'm gonna walk to it.
Soldier, do you yet live?
As you approach Julien, do you approach as well?
Of course.
You both walk over.
That's my bannerman.
Helm face down, long sleeves, long breeches. Hands are sort of crumpled under. There's some blood. There's some arrows that look like they should have pierced the body, but they've fallen to the side weirdly. And you see twitching in some weird way. What do you do, standing over the body?
I'm going to sort of lean down and try to find his eyes.
I'm going to draw my blade, just carefully.
Yes.
You lean down. Eyes, more than a dozen, look at you. The front of the helm, there's something twitching there. And suddenly, song, nightingale song. the clothes empty until there is nothing but bare white bones as 100 nightingales fly through the opening of the helmet, surrounding your body, Vaelus, and lifting you 5 feet up off the ground. And that's where we're going to end our episode.
Nuh-uh.
Cool.
No. No.
Just like tell us what happened.
Just like tell us what happens.
No, we have time.
Yeah. We have time. Do we?
We don't have
Nah,
time.
I think we're good.
Time, like I don't have anything to go.
I don't think we're going. I got nothing to do.
It's not beverted. What?
You got
beverted?
You got beverted.
Too many birds.
Too many birds. Well, you got sparrows, nightingales, magpies, falcons. I love it. Hey, and we'll find out what next episode's bird is next time. As always, is it Thursday yet?
Hey! Oh my God! It's fine here.
It's fine here.
I love it here.
That's crazy. You're just fully burn it up.
Floating.
Just floating. I bet it's fine. I bet it's cool.
It's probably fine.
It's just some Disney princess shit.